Thank you, Entangle, for 5 months. Thank you, gamers, for your support. Look at all the PlayStation 2s you have. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? I unmuted early just to thank you guys, so thank you. But it's time. It's time. We're getting ready to go in 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Welcome to the Bound Zone. Hello, Megan. Where the fuck did my chat go? Why did you leave? Why are my tits out? Why did you leave me? What? Oh, okay, there it is. I was where my chat go? Where is everybody? But welcome in, gamers. Hello. On my way to a building computing cluster until Sony decides. They don't want to build military hardware. Fuck yeah! I got PC and download Immersive Adult. I can't stop bonking my way through Skyrim. Fuck yeah! One day, I have a character in mind for when we do our ultimate fucking our way through Skyrim playthrough. Because it will happen one day. And I already have an OC, like, locked him. I literally made him in the game the other day. Because I'm playing him in a Pathfinder campaign.
Yes, like
Official Vince, thank you so much for the follow. You know, like guys, like you keep girl boss. Does Skyrim belong to your wenches? Skyrim belongs to me, and yeah, that's it actually. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Skyrim doesn't belong to the Nords. Okay, Skyrim doesn't belong to the Empire. Skyrim belongs to. Listen closely. Are you listening? It belongs to me. That's it. It's mine. What will I do with it? I don't know. Not your fucking problem, but it's mine, bitch. Welcome in, little gamers. Hello. So, I was not here last Sunday because I was traveling to go visit my sister. I went to go visit little Evie. She's doing really good. She's not doing drugs. I double checked. And we went to go see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And it was like a 3-hour drive, but it was really, really fun. I posted a blog post about it in the Discord for my sub gamers, but I am glad to be back. Even missing one Skyrim Sunday feels like a wound in my heart has manifested. Not in a gay way, though. So, we are gonna get down to business. Does it belong to David? No, David doesn't get shit! Not in my house. Alright, so, let me unmute the game, and we'll go over here, because you'll hear the music from the game, because it's like, it was going like, woo. Ooh, oh, maybe it's not going ooh anymore. Okay, that's okay. Let me see if I can do this. I should already have the game as like set up my game. Also, for those of you who didn't hear, I did get a new headset finally. So like no more no more like random beat boops. Undesired beat boops are gone. We only have desired beat boops now. So the big improvement. I still haven't fixed my interface yet, but we're working on it. So if my audio ever gets like really crunchy and I sound like Xbox Live type shit, just let me know. Darkwood, thank you so much for the follow. You know, guess like Gatekeep Cobos. Welcome to the stream. So let's see. Actually, do you guys want to see my fuck around character real quick? Because I think he's actually my last save game. Because I literally, I don't just use Skyrim. I said this before. I'll say it again. I do not just use Skyrim. Oh, Satan, thank you so much for the sub, gamer. You are now the proud owner of a new PlayStation 2. From me to you. Thank you so much for the sub, gamer. I like Sky and Rim. Oh, me too. Me too, buddy. Me too. But, it's loading, by the way. No, but, I think I don't just use Skyrim to play Skyrim. It is literally, if I am playing in a tabletop RPG, I literally use it to make my characters, right? And I will send my DM my character with this, right? So this is gonna be, whenever we do get to it, I have a character already made. This is my fuckboy character. We're not playing him today. See, he's even got a fuckboy earring, right? And I still want to tweak his face a little bit. I think he can be more alpha Chad male. But there will be a playthrough at some point where I fuck my way through Skyrim. Not yet, but one day. But for now, we are going to be a good noodle. We are going to be a polite lady, a good Christian girl, a church girl who go to church and read her Bible and does blood magic. Oh, fairy, hello, gamer. I can change my name because of future plans. Ooh, awesome. Thank you so much for the 16 months, gamer. You now have 16 PlayStations. But yes, no more fucking around Skyrim yet. I will get back to little bit of a, you know, don't you ever fuck your way through Skyrim? Not with this character, okay? This character is a church girl who go to church and read her Necronomicon, okay? But welcome in, gamers. So, last we left off, we got our boners. We got boner 1, boner 2. Mwah, mwah. I should have, there we go, boner 3. Where's boner number 4? Did we lose boner number 4? I can't remember. I deadass can't remember. Oh my gosh, Jason, thank you so much for the hydrate. I almost said Draven, like from League of Legends. All right, so here are my 3 boners. I guess we lost one in the war. What war? I don't know. But last time, where's my yeet? My yeet didn't go off. Wait, did yeet crash? Why didn't it beat the shit out of me? Why didn't it kill me? What the fuck? Hold on, let me beat the shit out of myself. There you go. I don't know why it didn't trigger, but there you go. Are we going on a crusade? I don't think so. But, yeah, these are my boners. What do you mean? They're my boner. See? He's made out of bones. He's a boner. And those are my tits. But anyway, last we left off, we did get this sick-ass house. So if you haven't seen the house, I'll do a quick little house tour. I did have to reload because it ate all my books. Oh, it's time. You've been waiting for the cursed Ara for so long, Unicorn. For so long. And I warned you. I warned you many times that it's not going to be what you thought it was. So, I've been working on something. A new skill that I'm trying to put into my wheelhouse. I don't know if this is going to go well. Because I haven't been drinking, like, water. But I'm going to try it. Let me step away from my mic. Okay. Let me see if I can do it. I want to see if I can do it. Okay, I'm trying to learn how to metal scream and it's not working. But there you go. I'm trying to learn. And I'm not very good at it, okay? I'm trying to like do the ooh, like, and I want to do like the higher pitch. Hi, Krusty J. What do we say, fellas? Is there a good time to enter an EB game stream? Ever? No. But I'm trying to learn how to metal scream. I thought you were Dory trying to talk to a window. No! I just want to learn how to scream. I want to learn how to metal scream because I have a lot of pent-up rage, and I think, like, you know how, like, you know how there's do any of you guys listen to Pierce the Veil? I used to love Pierce the Veil as a kid. I know the King for a Day, that I can't do the high-pitched metal screaming. I can only do like the wah! Like I can only do that, but I don't do it very well. But I'm trying to learn how to metal scream because, like, I'm a music teacher and I have a lot of people that ask me if I can teach them how to scream, and I have to say no because I don't know yet. So I'm trying to teach myself how to scream so I can help others scream. So then we can all scream together. We can be a big chorus of ooh, and it'll be fun, you know? But there you go. I hope that lived up to everything you wanted, okay? Even one more. Ooh, there we go. Now I'm warmed up. There you go. I hope that was everything you hoped for. Thank you for the yeet. I don't know if that was a good yeet or a bad yeet. Oh my gosh, y'all scream for ice cream? Fuck yeah. Although I'm lactose intolerant, but you know. All right, so what I'd like to do, if you remember, we did get Inigo, and the thing is we also wanted to go die. We wanted to go to the, what is it, Bloodchill Manor. That's what I want to go to. But Bloodchill Manor and Inigo actually conflict in some ways, so I had to download a patch. Because what happened is we went to Bloodchill Manor, and it was just mountain. And there was no manor, it was only mountain. And I was very upset. So I did download, shout out to Morgan, by the way, Morgan in the Discord, because she told me there was a patch for Bloodchill Manor. So we're gonna see if we can head to Bloodchill Manor today, because I've been wanting to do that. There's Bloodchill Cavern, because when I found it, I literally found it, and there was nothing there. So the last time we went to Bloodchill Manor, I genuinely didn't know what Bloodchill Manor was. All I knew, I was like, "Ooh, they gave me a letter to go to dinner. That's so nice. That's so cool." And then I was like, "Oh, okay." So we are going to go. Is it at Frostfall Lighthouse? I thought it might be Hearts of Crimson. No, but I know that it was something, and I remember going there, and it was like, no, you can't go. You cannot go to dinner, and I just wanted to go to dinner. Yeah, there it is. Blood Chill Cavern. Why do you have so many quests? I have crippling ADHD. That's all I got. So there's Blood Chill Cavern. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna go to dinner. All right, boners, do you have your formal attire? I wish I could give them equipment. I know there's just skeletons, but like, can you imagine how dapper they'd look with like a little bow tie or like a little top hat?
Wait, what? And hold on to it. I'll be back for it later. I'll pay you good. Don't lose it.
How the fuck did you? What?
No time to talk. Snitch or double cross me and I'll kill you. I mean it.
Bro, how do you? Where did you come from?
Never should have come. Don't kill me.
Oh, my money's on that guy. My money's on that guy. He gave you something. Just hold on to it. Okay. Okay.
We're routed. Fall back.
Did you see someone run past just now?
No.
Well, if you do, grab him and yell. Bastard stole from me.
Damn, that's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna go to dinner. Bye. Yeah, boners, don't get involved. Don't get involved. No, boners. Don't boners. 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 Do not get involved. We mind our business. We mind. Where are you going? Bro, we're trying to go to Applebee's. Get in the car. I'm just trying to take my 3 kids out to dinner and they won't get in the fucking car. Come on. This way. Come on. There we go. There we go. Come on. We're going to Applebee's. Shut up. Okay, 1, 2. Where's little Jimmy? Jimmy! Okay, there we go. All right. I just wanted to take my kids to Applebee's, and this is the thanks I fucking get. Jesus Christ. He really went out of his way. He was determined. He was determined, okay? All right. Ooh, nice place you got here. I'm gonna save just in case. Just in case. Look at it, though. It's pretty cool. All right. We're in. We are guests. Boners, we are guests. Make sure, be polite. Say please and thank you. Use your manners. And don't kill anyone unless I tell you to. Okay, can we do that? Look at me while I'm talking to you. Look at me while I'm talking to you. Kids these days, bro, they have no fucking respect. God damn. Okay.
Gaslight,
Oh, Curious, thank you so
girl
much for the
boss.
follow. You know, I guess I gatekeep girl boss. Welcome to the stream. All right, let's go to dinner. But remember, manners. Okay. All right, let's see. It's a pretty swanky place we got here. What's up?
Need something?
Hi. All right, let's see. We got to talk to the waiter. Hopefully we'll be okay. All right. Hello. Table for 3 or 4. I'd like to see the menu, please. One of my children is allergic to meat.
Of course.
Let me take a look. See. All right, let's take a look. Do you think they're still doing dollaritas or like endless wings? I hope they're still doing dollaritas. Because I've got, how many septums do I have? I have 10,000 septums. That's 10,000 margaritas. So hopefully they're still doing that. All right, let's see. Dinner menu. Firebrand wine, Alto wine. Okay, starting strong. Dark light souffle, a twist on the gourmet's famous recipe. Blood red venison with tomato sauce. Grilled goat leg with marrow broth. Apple pie, sweet rolls. Oh, okay, this looks pretty good. I'm down. There's no margaritas. But, like, I'll deal, you know? It's still pretty good. It's no endless wings, but, like, it's still pretty good, you know? We did have 4 boners, but one of them died mysteriously. I don't know what happened to him. So, they're being very polite, though. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. All right, let's take a seat at the feast table. We'll see what happens. Come on in. Do you have a kids' table? My 3 kids are kind of... you can't just cut in front of everyone, bro. You gotta... What did I, can I like pull it here? Come here. What did I fucking tell you? I said, you need to behave yourself. If you're not gonna, listen, young man, listen to me when I talk to you. If you're not gonna fucking behave yourself, you're gonna get back in the car, okay? Mind your business. I was talking to your brother, I was not talking to you. Okay, now take a seat, okay? Don't make me do something I will regret, okay? Jesus Christ. Being a parent is so hard, guys. Okay, please read aloud. All right. I am just so important. I am the guest of... What did I say? What did I say? About manners. There's also like no sound playing for some reason. Which, like, somehow makes it better. Let me, like, turn the sound up. Hold up. It's, like, detecting it, but it's so low. Hold on. There we go. Look, they're all staring, bro. Please. Get off the table. Get off the table. 1, 2. Don't make me get to 3. 2.5. Alright. We'll talk about this when we get home. Alright. Let me read this shit out loud, okay? I was supposed to have my moment, and man. Alright, where did it say? Please read aloud. Something like that. Read aloud. Let me search. What is it? Read. What did it say? It was like something like, what did it say? Like a letter or something? Read aloud? I can't find it anymore. Did I not take it? Did my kid take it? No, Mythic Dawn orders. I thought it said letter, please, like, please read aloud or something. Okay. I guess I'm not reading my letter. Yeah, it said read the feast note. Oh, wow, how'd the feast note get over here? Okay, please read aloud. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Let me do my little, where's my, oh, God, I don't have a wine glass. I have a Coca-Cola can and a pencil. Okay, everybody, I would like to make a toast. If you are reading this, I am dead. Oh, okay. Thank you for the posture check. And so you will have to hear my toast in spirit. Of course, a little business first, as I have no living heirs because, I'm bitchless. I have decided the manor will be bequeathed to you, provided you finish this last meal. As you know, I have always loved dinner parties, and so, for my final dinner, I've decided to have a few friends over. Varen, you and I shared a long and fruitful business partnership. I don't know who the fuck Varen is, by the way. But you altered the books to give yourself a larger cut. Don't think I didn't notice. Marina, you were my first love, but also my first mistake. God damn. Okay. For your love was not mine alone, and for that, I never forget. Ygritte, you are my ward, and in some ways, I considered you a daughter. But a daughter does not plot to steal an inheritance. So I will teach you this lesson as a father would. Oh, I'm a dad now. I didn't know that. That's cool. Leothil, we fought in the war together, and our bond is in many ways sacred. Yet I know the horrors you committed to survive. And while I dismissed it then, I cannot now. Galtitz, my old imperial friend, who used to drink wine with me at the Cyril Brothers Vineyard in Skingrad. One night you drank too much and saw it fit to insult my family. I told you I forgive you, as you were drunk. I did not! And lastly, Vanya Illyri. Ooh, that's me! I've brought you here on a whim. We have never met. Oh, okay, so I'm not a dad now. Okay. You are here as a wild card. A chance to change the fate of my friends, or to revel with it. Much like my fate in the next world, it's far more exciting, you see, if the future is unknown. And with that, drinks are served. Alright, I'll drink to that. Alright, chat, drink to that. Yippee! Alright. Wait, why can't I move? What? Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck! Oh, no! Oh, shit! Oh, God! Oh, fuck! How do I live this? Is there a way? Here, get out of the spell, for one. There's a big fucking spell over there. Holy shit. Okay, thank you for the posture check. I just need to survive, okay? I need to survive. Resist cold. Yeah, chug that shit. Restore magicka. Wait. Oh, fuck. Okay, that's him. Oh, it's all gargoyles. Hold on. Okay, is that gonna have any effect on him? Oh, we need more. My friends are down. Okay.
That's all you got? At your best, huh?
Okay. Is he still up there? Oh my god, he's still up there. Wait, Wait, did that say level 65? Okay, what do I have? Okay, blood brand. Oh, shoot. I've been branded. That is not even in a sexy way, goddamn. Can I pray real quick? Searbane, yeah, let me do that real quick. Holy shit, okay. I don't know if I can make it out of this. Essence of the dragon. No, that's not gonna do anything. That just makes my dick bigger. Oh. Okay. They're whittling him down slowly but surely. Is there anything I can do to, like... I don't have any scrolls. I'm wondering if there's, like, something I can do. Illusory flames? I know it's like...
You puny weakling.
I'm out of magicka. I'm wondering if I can just wait it out. If my flame bitches... Yeah, they're doing damage. Like, we're doing it. Is there anything I can do? I don't want to get up to him, you know? But I don't have many range spells except for Blood Drain, I think. I'm just checking. I have Unrelenting Force, at least. Yeah, I don't think giving myself an erection is going to help. I'm going to be honest, guys. Not to be, like, negative or anything, but I don't... Okay, that's one down. I think as soon as they die, I need to get another one. The nice thing is when they explode... Do I have a bow? I don't even have a fucking bow. I do have this, though. So this might help us.
Is this what you want?
Yeah, I don't have the range there. Okay, put that up here.
No one bests an orc.
Okay.
This ends now.
Holy shit. Okay. Ah, okay, we're dying. More potions. Fellas, this is why you be a hoarder. Okay. I don't think I can even get close to him.
I cannot best you.
What? No! I beat him and the game crashed! Okay. You really meant, to the death, huh? Wow, that's... Okay, we'll just open up the game again. Oh my god! I'm wondering, I'm like, is there something wrong with the quest? Because we had an issue with it before with getting Bloodshell Manor to even show up, you know? So I'm like, is it something wrong with the quest? Or am I just really fucking unlucky? Because I feel like it could genuinely be either. We literally had him! He was dying! Alright, well the game's booting back up. If adding a patch... It's taking a lot. Okay, there we go.
Gaslight,
There we
gatekeep,
go.
girl boss.
Maury, thank you so much for the follow. You know, Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, he couldn't accept he lost, so he crashed my game. What a sore fucking loser, am I right? This guy would never handle Little League Baseball, let me tell you. Like, let me take a sip of my juice. That was fucked up. Okay. Let's try this again and see if it's a problem, if with the game, or I'm just unlucky. How's Skyrim crashing going? We almost beat a level 65 boss, and right as he was about to die, the game crashed. Okay. Hello, Mr. Waiter. I'm here for dinner. I'm here for dinner. I'm so excited for dinner. We're gonna try it one more time, okay?
Need something?
Yeah, let's eat.
I understand.
Let's eat now, okay? All right, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's go. All right. Hi, Jelly. Welcome in, gamer. All right, I'm gonna give it another go. And if it crashes, then it's just not meant to be, okay? Now, here's the thing. Can I sit anywhere? Because I want to sit here. Because they're going to cast, like, the blizzard shit. And then... If you see TD again, send us logs on Discord. Okay. Will do. Just remind me. Yeah, I want to see...
quickly.
Oh, shit. I guess I have to sit there. Because that was my thought. They're going to cast the blizzard thing, and I want to be, like, away from it. All right. Read aloud. Blah, 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 blah. I'm a huge bitch, and I hate everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Did I read it? Did that save go through? I don't know. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me up. Let me up. I'm ready to go. Okay. All right, here we go. That wasn't as bad as before, but all my boners are going to die. Okay.
Damn you!
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, shit. I don't have my... Okay, blood drain. Although I can reanimate corpses. I can do that too. No, my skeleton! Okay, there's one boner. There's one. Okay. The gargoyle's almost down at least. Okay, he's down.
You can't beat me.
We're doing it. Wait, is the gargoyle on my side? Wait, the gargoyle's on my side, I think. What? Ah! Okay. Yeah, there's the waiter. The waiter's the one we need to kill. Why is blood drain affecting him? I feel like blood drain shouldn't affect him if he's a vampire.
At your best. I'll see you in pieces.
I'm just gonna... Oh, shit. Okay, I'm just gonna keep spamming women. And we're gonna hope that works. We're doing... Oh, okay. Okay, the gargoyle is not my friend anymore.
I'll show you a real fight.
Foos!
Okay, that's something. Oh, shit.
Mercy.
I thought he wasn't attacking. It looks like he's still not attacking me, but he's running towards me. I don't... Oh, shit. Okay.
At your best?
I don't have enough magicka. Okay. Average Applebee's experience! I just wanted Dollaritos! Why does this happen to me? I just wanted a Dollarito, bro. Okay, come here, come here, come here. Take this, take that. Resist fire, resist cold, resist everything, really. Okay, there we go. That's gotta count for something. Okay, come on. I can just... Okay, okay, okay. We staggered him.
That's it?
Yes!
That's
Go,
it.
my boner!
Ah, enough. This ends now.
Oh,
Show
all
me
my
what you
boners
got.
are gone. Okay, I have vampirism. What's fucking new? Okay. Healing. Magicka. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. Resist more fire.
No more.
Okay, lead him up here. Okay, save. 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 Holy fuck. Okay.
You'd better be careful with that magic if you know what's good for you.
What? That magic just saved your ass, buddy. Okay. Okay. It's not their fault. He just started swinging, bro. I didn't know what to do. All right. The vampires are all dead, and the will says this house belongs to me.
Very good. But you've created a debt between us. Here, take this. We're even now.
Hey, bro. Oh, okay. So I guess I have another house now. Hey, you know what? You boys did very proud. Wait, no, you boys did very good. Very proud of you. Mwah. Mwah. You guys carried. Mwah. Mwah. We will not forget your brother. Maybe. Probably. May he rest in peace. Here, we'll bless up real quick. Bless up for your brother. Oh, sis! Thank you so much for the resub! You have 20 years of Rimming the Sky. 20 PlayStation 2s. Thank you, gamer. We will use your resub in memoriam of boner number 3. Bless up. Bless up. Damn, that's crazy. I'm doing pretty good. I defeated someone who was level 65 and I got a house. So, like, things are going good. There's all these dead bodies. Did someone just sniff me? I thought someone just sniffed me. There's all these dead bodies that we'll have to clear out, but like, you know, it's okay. We can always make another boner, you know, where there's lots of bones over here, actually. So it's not all bad, you know. It's got some nice displays, so we can make replicas of some of the stuff in Legacy and put it here, so that's cool. Yeah, like the knives and the shields and stuff like that. And, oh, a tomato. Committing war crimes against the Thalmor. Who knows? I'll commit war crimes against anyone. I don't discriminate. Alright, well, I guess we'll do a quick little house tour. House tour, yippee! Not what I planned, but, you know, we take those. I'm gonna be honest. I genuinely didn't think that would work. Now, keep in mind, I am playing on the easiest difficulty because I'm a little bitch. Yeah, okay, I'm playing on the 3rd difficulty, okay? So I'm not a total bitch baby, but I'm, like, pretty much a bitch baby. But, like, hey, free house. We already, like, moved a bunch of our shit to our other house. So we won't move anything right now, but hey, a house is a house, bro. I'm not complaining. I did not think this would work. Wait, look. Oh, look at the little vampire doll. Look at its little teeths. Wait, that's so cute. Oh, really? Oh, wait, there's another one over here. That's so cute. It's got little fangies. That's so cute. I love it. I love that so much. Aww. They're so cute, bro. That is so cute. Okay, more books for us to hoard. So we'll leave those there for now. Once we get the museum, we'll grab those. Let's see what else is over here. Can host our own cool dinner party. Yeah, this is the front of the house. That's where we came from. Well, shit, I think this is a player home definitely more suited to Vanya. We do need to cure her vampirism again. Because remember, the big thing with her is she uses blood magic, but she's not a vampire, right? We're not going to actually become a vampire, I think. Well, we probably will at some point, but not yet. It's too soon. She still has a little bit of good left in her. How long that will last, time will tell. So for those of you who have never seen my stream before, this is our OC, Vanya. Vanya comes from a line of nobles, well-gifted in magic. She was actually adopted into this line. She was raised as an orphan, and they thought she was really good at magic, so they adopted her because they wanted their heir to also be good at magic like themselves. And basically, she is now on her own for the first time looking to finish her research. Now, what her parents do not know is her research is about blood magic and harnessing human life to cast spells and do funky shit. And that is something her family looks down upon and sees as not cash money. So she is basically the trope of pretty princess hiding a dark secret. And she has, you know, her bone friends that she made herself. She loves to DIY. She DIY'd some friends, you know? Like, we all gotta go to Joann's from time to time and DIY some friends. That's just how it goes. This looks very cool, though. I like that we have the Staff Enchanter, too. Staff Enchanter is a very cool item, but yes, she is our character. We are... Wait, what is Vampire Royal Armor? Wait, hold on. Vampire Royal Armor. What the fuck is that? Oh, my taco! Thank you so much for hanging out, gamer. Let's see. That shit worse than Necromancer? Yeah, she's a little quirked up. She, you know, is killing people in the name of science and discovery. Holy shit. Wait. This kind of looks good on her. Let me get into a good light. I like it. I don't like it as, like, let's see what it looks like without her little cape. Because she does have, I like her cute little cape, but, like, I do want to see it without her cape. That is very cool, though. Where's her little capey cape? Capey cape. Here we go. Oh, this is certainly a look. We'll keep that for later. We'll keep that for later. I do like her adventuring outfit a lot, though. I think her adventuring outfit's super cute. So, what time is it in game? It is 9:52 a.m. So it's like, oh, okay. We killed all that people, and we still got a whole day ahead of us. What a delight. Wait, spell tome. Conjure Mistman. Who the fuck is the Mistman? Who's the Mistman? Summons a mist man from the soul cairn. Okay, shit. Blood gift. I think we have blood gift already. Is there any other like blood-based spells we can find? Because that's what I want to do. I want to try to find like as many blood-based spells as we can without actually becoming a vampire, you know? Because for her, I do think we are going to become a vampire later because we're going to do as many quests as we can. She makes for a really good Legacy of the Dragonborn character, as in her whole thing is she thirsts for knowledge, so she like has a reason to do fucked up shit in the pursuit of knowledge. She's not necessarily, her morals are very flexible, let's say that, right? So we are probably going to try a lot of stuff. I don't know if this is if we're going to complete Legacy, because I always say we will, and then we never do. But, an attempt will be made. Let's say that. Yeah, but at what cost? Her sanity, probably. But, you know, she's doing okay for now. She's doing okay. So, let's, report back to, well, let's actually see where the rest of our quests are. So, oh my god. That way, we're not going back and forth too much, right? We're able to, like, do stuff at a decent pace. So I would like to make some more boners because we did lose some. I think we can have a max, yeah, we can have a max of 4 at a time. I want to see, I definitely want to, yeah, we are doing the main quest because we kind of gotta. I don't know if I want to do Dark Brotherhood stuff right away. We'll do this. Dawn Guard will come. I mean, I feel like we could start Dawn Guard because I feel like at this point in the story, because we've done Forsworn stuff, and her whole thing with the Forsworn is she wanted to, you know, go to Markarth. Her whole story started in Markarth, right? Her whole thing was she wanted to go to Markarth to find someone that would be willing to dedicate her life to her and had nothing to lose and was willing to throw away their lives for a little bit of gold so she could experiment on them and grow her powers, right? She went to Markarth, and people immediately started swinging. And she got wrapped up in the Forsworn conspiracy, met up with the Forsworn, empathized with them, and was like, you know what? Actually, yeah, you're right. Let's kill all these people. So she definitely had like a moment there. Working on the main quest line. Main quest line I feel like isn't necessarily canon to her story, but we're doing it. Like, that's the thing, is that this is going to be a legacy run. I like to roleplay with my characters. I like to think about their character progressing throughout the story, you know? But I think even if we're doing legacy with her, some of the stuff we do in the game will be canon, some of it won't be canon, you know? But we're now doing stuff with Legacy of the Dragonborn. That's like a big thing for her. She thinks it'll be a good opportunity. And we're kind of just running around, you know? We will investigate Frostfire Tower. We will talk to the beggar. Yeah, I think we can do all of this stuff. Hi, JK! Welcome in! I don't want to do...
Gatekeep, girl boss.
Thank you so much for the follow. You know, Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss. Good name. I love me some Stroganoff. But welcome to the stream. I was info dumping about my character. But yeah, so I think we're going to see what we can do in order to give her a good experience, you know? Being a vamp is cool and all, but why would anyone want to join the Volcaire when you can just have Serana turn you after killing Harkon? That's the thing, is like, I think if we do vampire stuff, you can technically romance Serana with this mod pack. I personally don't like the Serana romance, even with the mod pack. I feel like it feels... Yeah, we'll do the Dwemer shit real quick, just for funsies. I feel like I don't know, it just feels very unnatural to her character, you know what I mean? But I feel like her and Serana would be really good friends. You know, I think they would genuinely get along really well. So, again, if you're new to my stream, I have, like, a collection of OCs that I really, really love to write about and care about. I actually am going to integrate them into my VTuber lore. My VTuber lore started as, like, 2 paragraphs, and now I'm writing an entire tabletop RPG setting based on my VTuber lore. So I've decided to make my Skyrim OCs part of my VTuber lore and characters within the OC, like within the tabletop RPG setting I'm created. It's gonna be probably built for Pathfinder 2nd edition, but I'm sure it'll work for 5e as well. But that's something I'm currently working on. Oh, Hex! Oh, fuck! Hi, welcome in, everybody. Hex, I hope you have a good stream. If mods could give a shout out to Hex, I would really appreciate it. What were you playing, gamer? Welcome in, new members to the stream. My name is ZB Games. I love dragons, tits, and dragons with tits. I'm also Hex's vocal teacher, so in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have given that intro, given the context, but he know how I be, so it's okay. There's also Ice Race, and I'm dying. So So, you know, lots of things are happening right now. But hello! Welcome in, gamer. I hope you had a good stream. These are my 2 boner children. Boner 1 and Boner 2. My 2 other boner children died. But I got a house because they died. So it's okay. You know, it all, like, works out. It's okay to kill your children if you get real estate for it. You know what I'm saying? But welcome in, gamers. You love dragons. Well, you have dragon children. I mean, I personally am like, I don't want to have kids in general, dragon or no dragon, but like, anything can happen, you know? We were playing HoloCure. Ooh! That was not related to you playing HoloCure. I've always wanted to try HoloCure, but I'm not sure if it would like, I'm not sure if I would like it. You know what I mean? But welcome in, gamer. Oh, hi, Morgan. Morgan, we were able to clear Bloodshield Manor. Thank you so much for telling me about the patch. I really appreciate it. Oh, I went the wrong way. I'm stupid. Well, I guess we won't go that way. I guess we won't do that quest right now because I don't feel like it. I honestly don't like doing Dwemer shit in general. But thank you, Morgan. I appreciate it. I think what we're gonna do, we still need to find one of the Dragonborn quests. I think we're actually gonna ignore the Dwemer Monument. Because I don't like the Dwemer, and I don't feel like doing it right now. I hate Dwemer Ruin, so we will eventually do this, but not now. How has Skyrim Sunday been so far? It's been good. We got to talk about Vanya and her lore. We got to talk about how all my Skyrim Sunday characters are going to fit into my VTuber lore. They're all characters in my story because I love them so much. And we got to talk about how her morality is very flexible because she's, you know, doing some really fucked up shit, but it's for science, so it's okay, you know? We might do the werewolf quest, I'm not sure. I think, I do want to do Nettlebane, because she hasn't gone completely insane yet. Because that's the thing, that's my plan for her, is like, she's like exploring sky, like, you know how like they talk about when you send a kid to college that's been sheltered their whole life and then they just go fucking crazy? I feel like for her, it's not an instant, it's like a slow burn, right? Like she's dabbling in villainy. You know what I mean? And then there's gonna be a moment where she just fucking snaps and we're gonna do like all the evil quests all at once. But she's already like worked with Molag Bal. She doesn't follow him, but they're not like they're not besties, but you know, they're acquainted, you know? So I think what we'll do, let's actually head over to Helgen and then we'll investigate the ritual site. What's over here? Oh yeah, we do need to get to Riften. I remember we said we were gonna get to Riften last stream, and then we got sidetracked for whatever reason. So I think what we're gonna do, we'll investigate the ritual site. We go to retrieve Nettlebane, report to Jarl Balgruuf, talk to him about the dragon attack and us being dragonborn, and then from there we'll take a carriage to Riften. Because I'll be honest, I am not walking my happy ass all the way over to Riften. We do not have time for that. So let's head over to Helgen and see what the fuck is up. Okay, let me take a sippy. Wood elves eat the people they kill. Good for them. It's called being resourceful. Renewable energy. Wait, why does it say I have my Xbox controller? Okay, that's weird. And that is something I am trying to do, Awake, is I do want to complete all the Daedric quests. I feel like for her, since her whole thing is forbidden knowledge, doing the Daedric quest just, like, makes sense. You know what I mean? So that's probably something that is a goal of mine, is just going to be doing all of those. Yeah, we'll head down this windy little path and then see what the fuck is up. The problem with having so many quests, though, is I want to keep them all, like, toggled, because I like being able to kind of, like, plan out my traveling route as if I'm, like, because, like, I like fast travel, don't get me wrong, but I do like having the freedom to, like, how do I say this here? I'm going to turn the volume of the game up a little bit more. I like being able to kind of, like, plan a route along and pretend I'm camping, and I think we actually have camping gear now. I think we did find camping gear. So we can legitimately camp. Let me check my inventory. Yeah, camping supplies. So we can build a campsite. So it's currently 2:19 p.m. So we still got a little bit of daylight, right? So that's the thing, is it's like, I don't know, I've tried doing character voices and stuff, and it's not that I can't voice act. It's just one of those things where, like, I don't like doing it while I'm streaming. Like, if it's like I'm recording lines for a project separately, then, like, yeah. But, like, I already talk a lot when I'm streaming, and I feel like voice acting while streaming, for me, just puts extra strain on my voice. So, like, if I was, like, doing, like, a collab or something, it'd be one thing. But, like, hats off to people who can just voice act all the time. I could not do that. But I feel like it's, like, even though we aren't, like, heavy role-playing, I like it there to be, like, an element of, like, continuity, I guess would be the word. Like, you can follow her story. It's like, sometimes it is just me dicking around, but I try for it to be continuous in some ways. There's a bear trap over here. What's going on with that? Let's see. I guess we have to go up then. We can't just... Although I think there's another version of the path over here. So we'll go up and around. Harkon some 1,000 years ago decided mullet ball seems cool. I'm gonna turn my wife and daughter or something. I don't know. I don't remember exactly if that's how it goes, but I feel like that is a very like reduced version of it in a way. Like in a very fucked up way. It kind of a little bit, you know? I don't know. I don't remember the whole thing with the vampires and stuff, but I just remember like, and I'm not gonna go into it because it's like really sad, but Serana's story is very, very sad. But that's why I love her and I want to protect her. Girly is in her healing arc and we support her and I want to be her friend, you know? Like that's the thing is like, she's one of those characters where it's like, I don't want to date her because I want her to get through all the things she's going through. If that like makes sense, you know? Like I feel like she needs a friend more than she needs a relationship right now, which honestly, I feel the same way towards like Astarion in Baldur's Gate, which like at first I was like, oh my god, sexy vampire, and like the more and more I learn about Astarion, I'm like, you do not need a girlfriend, you need to go to therapy. So like honestly, I don't know, I'm still gonna romance Astarion because I want to know how his like romance ends and stuff like that, but I feel like realistically, like he needs a friend more than he needs a lover, you know? I feel the same way about Astarion that I do Serana. So ritual site should be down here. We just have to briefly parkour through a mountain. Nothing too crazy. Oh, shit. Okay, zombies are over there, so off to a great start. We should get to a bone altar at some point and replenish our boners. Where our boner supply is a little low. Alright. Hello? Oh, shit. Oh my god. They're... Ooh, okay. Mort flesh. What the fuck is mort flesh? That's... Ooh. That's icky. Okay. Oh my god, that does like no damage. At least my women are holding it down. Are those skin gloves? No, they're regular gloves, but I really should take them off honestly because I have a mod that lets me have really bright colored nails. So it's supposed to be like this, but I forgot to take the nails off. But you know what? It's chilly, so we'll take her Claire's nails off and put the gloves back on. She probably needs the gloves more than she does the nails right now, honestly. Let's see. No, yeah, they're fine. It's hold down the fort, gamers. You got it. I love playing Conjuration because I don't have to think. I just let them do it for me. It's great, you know? All right, that's well, I guess we're gonna find out literally everything we can about mort flesh because we're gonna have a ton of it. Slaying with style. Yeah, she doesn't just slay, she slays. You know what I mean? Like she's like slaying plural, you know? Welcome in, QV. With her backstory especially, I find it rather off you can romance Serana and her mom. Stop, I didn't know you could do that. That's wild. Like, listen, I try not to be judgmental, okay? I try not to yuck someone else's yum. But, that's not for me. That is not for me. Necromancer's Journal. Let's take a look at that and we'll grab his clothes too. Hi, Fuzzy, welcome in. Let's see. Where is the journal? Let's see what was going on over here. Because I'm going to be honest, this looks like some theater kid type shit. No, I'm kidding. I say that as a former theater kid. Like, I'll be real, low-key, sometimes I would, like, when I would go to theater kid events, I would be like, this seems kind of cool and all, but why are we doing a ritual in a Denny's? Although that might have just been a me thing. Did your guys just, like, if you were a theater kid when you were in high school, did your theater club do, like, weird shit? Okay, I shouldn't say weird shit, but, like, did they do, like, rituals and stuff like that, or was that just, like, a me thing? Hi, gaming! Welcome in, gamer. Alright, let's see. An apprentice of mine recently discovered an ancient tome in a forgotten cavern during a gathering expedition. This tome is like nothing I've seen in a very long time. I believe it's a conjuration spell of some sort, but I can't be certain. I'll need to spend some time deciphering this. It could be quite valuable to us. I spent the last several weeks working tirelessly to decipher this ancient tome. It's just as I suspected. It is indeed a conjuration spell. However, the creature summoned is especially vicious. An undead zombie of wonderfully putrid potency that appears to be much more active in the late night hours. Yeah, don't tell me I'm pretty. Tell me I'm wonderfully putridly potent. That's what I want to hear. Trust me, fellas. Every lady wants to hear that they're wonderfully putrid and potent. Just trust me on this, okay? Source, I made it the fuck up. I'm not stopping now. I plan to create an even more powerful version of this spell. As Molag Bal is my witness, I shall have a zombie horde at my command before long. That's not theater, that's satanic cult activity. To be fair, I grew up in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, so you
Gaslight,
very well...
keep girl boss.
You very well could be onto something. Paragon, thank you so much for the follow. You know, Gaslight, keep girl boss. Welcome to the stream. Nothing could have prepared me for the power I'm about to wield. The whole of my training has been for this moment. Soon my apprentices and I shall perform a ritual the likes of which has not been seen in centuries, and bring forth an undead army, powerful and willing to do my bidding. Its power will radiate across Skyrim, bringing forth waves of undead from the darkness. The time is at hand! Yippee. Okay. So how'd that work out for ya? Not good, huh? At least the zombies, like, cheeked up. Even in death, he's still got that ass. I respect it. Alright. Well, I guess we figured out what's going on over here. Kind of mid, gonna be honest. The Mort Flesh controlled him. He could not control the Mort Flesh. But you know what? It happens sometimes, okay? That's just... It really do be like that sometimes. There meshes of a mod that make them look more alike too, which I feel... Yeah, I don't know. I would... Did anyone see that? Okay, I think I talked... Actually, no, I'm not going to say this because I talked about it. I think I literally talked about it on another Skyrim Sunday stream. That TikTok about the girl that accidentally blew her dad in the Netherlands at a party. Yeah, that was... I don't know why the Serrano thing made me think of that. I guess because it's, like, fucked up. And I was like, hey, this fucked up thing reminds me of another fucked up thing. Yeah, it was on TikTok. It was, you know, I always think, like, maybe my TikTok page is, like, maybe you guys are getting the same TikToks I am. But, like, yeah, okay, it was, like, it read like a Reddit story. So I don't know if this is true, okay? Because it really felt like some Reddit, like, today I fucked up type bullshit. And we all know that people fake Reddit stories for TikTok clout now, okay? So basically, what happened is this girl went to a party. Yeah, I think it was on Oberdeen. Me and yeah, because I told it to David. And David was like, "What the fuck is what the fuck is your TikTok page?" Like, David's about to put like parental controls on that shit or something. Okay, so but anyway though. Basically what happened is this all happened in the Netherlands, and like they go hard in the Netherlands. Shit gets crazy in the Netherlands. And basically what happened is this girl went to a party, and it was like a sex party type thing, I think. And this is where I don't think it's true, because apparently it was like she was on a glory hole or something like that. And apparently with the glory hole, you could, and there was like a panel so you couldn't see the person like at the thing, because that's how that works, right? Hi Shy Squirrel, I'm sorry you're coming in at probably the worst time possible. But she said that the girl pressed a button, and like what happened was a panel slid out from the glory hole, and it showed you who was on the other side. And that's where I started doubting the story, not story. That's a very advanced glory hole. That's like I'm not an expert on glory hole technology. I don't. Oh fuck! Can you guys handle this? I'm talking about glory holes. I'm busy. Okay. Anyway, I'm not an expert on glory hole technology, but that sounds fake. You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't sound real. But apparently, she pressed the button, and the little panel slid out, and the guy on the other end of the glory hole was her dad. So she accidentally sucked her dad's dick. I'm so sorry, TRCG. This is the part where I'm walking around Skyrim and I just say whatever the fuck comes to my brain. Yeah, it seems like way too like that's some cyberpunk type bullshit, okay? But apparently what happened was it like tore their family apart, which like makes sense. Like the mom like doesn't talk to like either of them. And it was all like really fucked up. But it was like trending on TikTok, and I didn't even see the video. I saw like people react. Where the fuck is this hag raven? I saw people like memeing about it before I actually saw the video about it, and I brought it up during my Oberdin stream, where I was streaming with David, And David was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do I need to like take TikTok away from you? Because that's what? But yeah, so that's what's on my For You page. There's like, does anyone else get like weird shit on their For You page? Because I feel like there's a bunch of people that treat TikTok like it's Facebook. Like I'm getting a lot of posts on TikTok about multi-level marketing schemes. And I've talked about multi-level marketing schemes before. Ah! Who? Girl. Oh my god! Can you chill out? I'm walking here. Yeah, get her ass. Anyway. See, this is why I play Conjuration Mage, though. They do all the heavy They do all the heavy lifting. They do all the heavy lifting, okay? My women, and then I just say, and we just have a nice chat, okay? About glory holes and multi-level marketing schemes. No, but like, I keep getting these TikToks about multi-level marketing schemes, but like the thing with multi-level marketing schemes is like, they're like local to a degree, right? Like it's like, hey, come to my party, and it's like, it's always like a city I've never heard of in like bumfuck Utah. I'm like, I'm not even on the West Coast. I'm not even in that time zone, my good bitch. Like what? And then sometimes it's just like pictures of someone's like spouse, and it's like I always wish it's like, listen, if you're gonna give me this kind of content, can you at least give me like the drama? You know, like give me something dramatic. Like that's what I used to do on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but sometimes like. Hi Natalie, welcome in. I am the summoner passenger princess. Like I'm like here. I'm messing with the radio. I've got my
Gaslight,
Duncan.
keep girl
God,
boss.
thank you so much for the follow. You are not gaslight, keep girl boss. That people are shooting at me, and I don't like it. But yeah, it's always like shit like that. But like what I used to do is I used to like join random Facebook groups for like, this is so stupid, but when I was 15 I was really bored, and I used to join like Facebook groups that was like I don't remember what it was called, but it was like, are we dating the same guy, right? And what it was is, in cities people would post the guys they were dating to make sure they weren't cheating on anyone. Right? They'd be like, hey, I'm gonna use Delaware as an example because I fucking hate Delaware. They would be like, hey, I'm from Wilmington, or like the group would be based in Wilmington, and it would be like, this is the guy I met on Tinder, are any of you guys dating him? And most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, oh shit, Jesus Christ, 9 times out of 10, yeah, Car knows what I'm talking about, it would be like, nothing. It would be like, oh no, that's cool, good for you, have fun. But the one time, shit would get crazy. It's gone. That's so sad. There were so many Facebook groups I was in. I used to join MLM groups for fun, so I could make fun of the people in the multi-level marketing scheme, which like in hindsight was probably really mean of me. In my defense, I was 15, but like, I don't know, because like I feel like I knew I was being mean, but I didn't realize how mean I was being. Like as an adult, I'm like, wow, EB, you were making fun of these people that were manipulated because they were promised financial freedom, and they're probably really struggling, and you're just shitting on them. But like when I was 15, I was just like, wow, these leggings look like ass. Like I didn't think that deep into it, you know what I mean? I was just like, haha, you guys have stupid leggings, get fucked. So that's what I did for fun as a child, and now I'm a VTuber, so it really all adds up, you know what I mean? Do you like watermelons? I do like watermelon. I don't know, I feel like I wasn't that mean at 15. Like I was like the type of kid where like I was bullied at school, but I talked mad shit online. Like the way the internet is now, I thank God every day that I was born when I was, because if I was 15 like right now, I would be fucking insufferable. Hi Indigo, welcome in, gamer. I think the Greybeards like me. I think they want me. They like shook the world for me. That's kind of tucks hair behind the ear. That's kind of like low key. You're telling me a group of guys shook the whole world for me? Oh my god! It all comes full circle. Yeah, I literally like got bullied in real life, but I talked mad shit on the internet. Oh my god! Like I would. Hi, Dex Jokes, welcome in. I don't want to say like what I would do, because I don't know what I would do, but I'd probably be like, I feel like I say this, I feel like if I was 15 right now, I'd be in the Dream SMP fandom, which is like, I don't want to say it, like I don't, but I feel like I really would be. You'd be able to troll MLM and hustle culture so well. See, that's the thing is like, I unironically call myself a girl boss now because I own my own small business, not selling leggings, like, but I feel like sometimes I am like a victim to hustle culture because David will be like, go to bed, and I'll be like, no, David, the grind never stops. I must keep mixing. I must keep
What
working.
happened at the watchtower? Was the dragon there?
Yeah, he was. The watchtower was destroyed, but we did kill the dragon.
I knew I could
How old are
count
the
on your
Greybeards?
But
Greybeards?
there must be more to
Pretty
it than
fucking
that.
old. Old enough. I mean, like, do you think someone's ever been a sugar daddy? Or no, not sugar daddy. What's sugar baby? Do you think anyone's been a sugar baby for the Greybeards? Because I feel like the Greybeards actually don't have any fucking money. You know, I have no idea what that fandom is. I'm not gonna tell you because honestly, you will live a better life not knowing what Dream SMP is. Like, I'm not gonna ruin you, you sweet summer child. Yeah, they have no money, so like, why would you sugar baby for them? You know, went to my first con on my wallet, and tax agent hates my guts. That's the problem. Is when I went to my last con, it was for a business trip. So I could write off everything I bought, all the food I got at the con. I wrote off all my taxes. And I had a meeting with my accountant, and she's like, "Evie, how the fuck did you spend $300 on boba in California?" And I was like, So some lessons were learned my last, my first business trip, or my most recent business trip. But now I know for next time, okay? Oh, shit, sorry. I was talking about my bad financial decisions. Anyway, I might be Dragonborn. Huh?
Dragonborn?
Yeah.
What do you know about the Dragonborn?
I'd be a free sugar baby to the Greybeards. I think that's just being a little bit of a slut, but I respect it. Good for you. When the dragon died, I absorbed some kind of power from it.
So
how much did you spend on Chewy Tea? I think I spent like $50
really were summoning you.
on chess boba, actually. To be fair, I was paying for me and David. For tax reasons, David is my unpaid intern.
High on the slopes of the throat of the world.
What do the Greybeards want?
The Dragonborn is said to be uniquely gifted in the voice.
They're 70 to
the
90.
Ability to focus your vital essence into a
Could be better. Could be worse.
Or shout. If you really are Dragonborn, they can teach you how to use your...
Oh, Indigo, thank you so much for the Prime Zone Gamer. You now have a PlayStation. I appreciate that. They want the Dragonborn to see. I mean, can you blame them?
Centuries.
Here, let me move my mic closer
Not
to me
since
so I can
Tiber
scream more
himself
effectively.
was summoned when he was still Talos of Atmora.
The way my one boner is just like,
What
damn,
does any
this
of this
is crazy.
Nord
Like,
nonsense have to do with our friend
do you
here?
know what personal space
Capable as
is?
she may be, I don't see
I
any
don't
signs of
think
her
he
being
knows.
this, what,
I don't think he knows what personal
Dragonborn.
space is.
Nor nonsense. Why, you puffed up ignorant.
Yeah, you get his
These
ass.
are traditions traditions that go back to
They
the founding
probably
of
haven't
the
gotten
First
any in
Empire.
decades. Oh
Wrong,
shit.
Don't
Oh,
be so
shit.
hard on
Squirrel,
others.
thank you so much for the hydrate.
I meant no disrespect, of course. It's just that, what do these Greybeards want
I'm
with
sure
her?
the info's out there somewhere.
That's the
like how
Greybeards'
old
business.
the Greybeards are.
Not
Those
ours.
bones go crazy.
Whatever happened when you killed that dragon, it
Okay,
revealed
tell me,
something
chat.
in you.
Yarl Balgruff.
And the
Would?
Greybeards heard it.
Would?
If they
Because
think
I
you're
fucking would.
Dragonborn,
I absolutely would.
who are we to argue? You'd better get up to High Hrothgar immediately.
All of you have good taste.
There
Thank
is
you.
no refusing the summons of the Greybeards. It's a tremendous honor.
Yippee!
I envy you.
They have
you
a ton
know,
of regen potions.
to climb
That's
the
true,
7,000
actually.
steps again. I made the pilgrimage once. Did you know that?
Ah.
High Hrothgar is a very
He looks like he
peaceful
needs a
place,
bath, but that's everyone in this
Very
game.
disconnected from
like-
the troubles of this world. I wonder
I
if the
don't know,
Greybeards
man.
even notice what's going on
I'm
down
not gonna.
here.
No, that's too much.
They haven't
Sometimes I
seemed
think
to
about
care
saying something. I'm like,
before.
that'll be funny, but then I'm like, you know, maybe
No
that's too much
matter.
for even stream.
Go to High Hrothgar.
But I saw
Learn
a
what the
post that was
Greybeards
like,
can teach you. You've
Oh,
done
God.
a great service for
all
me
I'm
and my
gonna say
city,
is, like,
Dragonborn.
everyone
By my
thinks
right as
Skyrim
Jarl,
sex is
I
hot,
name you Thane of Whiterun.
but like,
It's the greatest honor that's within
do
my
you
power
really
to
want to
grant.
go down on someone
I
whose
assign
last
you Lydia
shower was a
as
week ago in the
personal
river?
housecarl,
That's
and
all
this
I'm
weapon
saying.
from my armory to
That's all
serve
I'm
as
saying.
your
You make
badge
your
of
choice.
office.
I've made mine.
I'll also notify
What do you
my
mean,
guards
yes?
of your new title.
What do you
Wouldn't want them to think you're part of the common rabble, now would
I am
we?
not part of the common
We are
rabble.
honored
no.
to have you
Does
as
Vanya need a
thane of our
bath?
city,
No, she bathes
Dragonborn.
every day.
Back to
She's very
business,
clean,
Proventus.
and she smells like
We still have a
roses
city
and
to
blood.
Yes, my lord.
Okay. I'll take my chances. Shit. Let's see. I do want to see what the weapon looks like, because we do, I believe, have... Yeah. I think it's uniques is the mod. But check this shit out. This will be fun to display. That's a cool one. That's a cool one. Oh, Smamoko, thank you so much for the Prime sub, gamer. I appreciate it. You have a PlayStation 2. Congratulations. But thank you. All right. Let's see what we want to do next. Because I think the plan now... Where's my carry weight at? Okay, my carry weight's fine. I think we're going to head over to Riften. Okay? And I think what's going to happen is we are going to...
The Jarl has appointed me to be your house, Carl. It's an honor to serve you.
Oh, God. You can't see it, but I'm, like, rubbing my eyes. That's my legacy. God damn it. You know what? No, this character... Vanya's polite. Vanya's nice. I'm not, but she is. You must be Lydia, my new house Carl.
Pleased to meet you.
Oh, that's legacy? Oh, okay, cool. You know what? Just come with me.
Lead the way.
Come with me. We can always use more pals in this group of unlikely friends. Just come with me. I feel like Vanya would be annoyed at Lydia, but like she wouldn't tell her she's annoyed at her. She'd just be kind of passive aggressive, you know, just like, let's get going. We're going. Are you going to keep up or not? Every time I see Lydia, I think of the tree, not the tree. Yeah, the first time we got with Lydia, it was right next to a tree that didn't render correctly, so it was just a tree that was a bunch of purple polygons. So we just called that like. I purposely didn't fix my mod list because the one fucked up tree was really funny to me. You know what? Let's go to the inn and we'll get a room, I think, and we'll wait till daytime to travel. You know, she would 100% complain to her skeletons. Absolutely, Vanya talks mad shit with her skeletons. Okay, they are like.
Let me know if you want him.
I don't know if you guys have this relationship with your mom.
Staunch
Me and my mom talk so much shit together. I'm gonna turn the game volume up a little bit because I feel like it's still kind of quiet, or it's still kind of loud, low-key. That's what I meant to do. It's not like where I want it to be. Hold on. I like Ysolda. Ysolda was my first waifu. All the girls I dated when I first started playing video games, my first games that I spent like an ungodly amount of time on was this and Dragon Age, the Dragon Age series. Hold on, let me.
I enjoy this work well enough,
Holda's
but
also
I'm
very
ready to
pretty.
retire.
Remember when
I've
Misty
been
became
thinking of
the wall?
selling the inn to
Yes.
Isolda. Anyway, what do you
All
need?
right, I'd like to rent a room, please.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
Thank you. All right.
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
But basically, the first
have you
two
spoken to
ladies
that man
I
from
like
the
really
vault?
was
Be
obsessed
careful.
with when I first started
No,
playing these
not yet.
games. It was
But I will.
Liliana and
just
Ysolda.
haven't
I had a thing for
gotten
redheads when
around
I
to
was
it
younger, I guess. I mean, I kind of still have a thing for redheads, but like, well, David's a redhead, so it checks out. God, I forgot how beautiful this
You mean you
Oh.
won't forget about me the moment I'm out of sight?
I think
Get yourself a nice old rich husband. Have 16
I think something went a little wrong.
You've uncovered my master
But that's
plan.
okay.
Now I suppose you'll never leave.
It's fine.
Harlot.
Whoopsies. It's okay.
I work with my mother.
done
Sell fruits
Is this
and
how this is
vegetables.
supposed to be?
It's fun most days, but hard work. Do you know there's some
could you
fruits
spare a
that
coin?
actually grow
Ma'am,
better in the cold weather?
Okay, there we go. I think something might have gone oh. There we go. I think something might have gone a little bit wrong, but
come and gone.
that's fine. It's just
of aggression
modern.
is just about done. We'll drive out the storm cloaks and restore what we own. With our blood and our steel, we will take back our home.
I like that you can see the sky through the ceiling. I think that's very
Down
nice.
with Malfric, the killer of kings, on the day of...
Thanks. Thank you. I really hope this doesn't crash when I leave the sleep seat.
If there's anything else you need.
Okay, well rested. This shit was kind of spooky. We're gonna bless up real quick. Let's
We're the children of SKYRIM,
bless up
and
real
we
quick,
fight
'cause that
all
was,
our lives. And when Sovngarde
that was something.
beckons,
Okay, I don't think.
one of us dies.
I think there might have been a slight error with
Need something.
This land
what's
is
going on
ours,
over
and
here,
we'll
but
see
that's
it wiped
okay.
clean.
What are you doing that
The
for?
scourge
Can I
that
just-
has sullied
Can I just
our
haul
hopes
myself
and
down there?
our
Okay, guess not. Alright, we'll take the stairs like a normal person, I guess. Alright. It's fine. Everything's fine. Where's the stairs? Where's the stairs? Here they are. No, they're not. Okay. And here... It's like over here. There we go. Everything's fine. It's cool. It's fine. I was like, does it look different or am I stupid? It definitely looks different. It's like, this is really pretty, but I feel like something might have went wrong somewhere. Something might have been wrong somewhere. The fuck was I talking about? I got distracted by the gorgeous architecture we were so blessed to witness. But yeah, me and my mom have the type of relationship where we will just talk mad shit all the time. And then, like, she'll literally text me and she'll be like, do you have any drama? Do you have any drama? And I'll text her. I'll be
there.
You got any drama?
We're looking for someone in Whiterun. And we'll pay good money for information.
Who are you looking for?
A woman. A foreigner in these lands.
Yeah, me too, bud.
Redguard, like us. She is likely not
I'm
using
also
her
looking
true
for
name.
a woman.
We will pay for any information regarding her location. We are not welcome here in Whiterun. So we will be in Rorikstead if you learn anything.
Why are you looking for them?
It's none of your concern. All you need to know is that we're paying for information.
Well,
If that doesn't interest you, feel free to walk away.
Okay.
If you locate her, find us in Rorikstead.
This gate looks really sexy. Unrelated. But man, I fucking love a good looking door. You know? That's a good looking door. I like that door. Alright. I do remember, I don't know.
You have news of our quarry.
No! Fuck you. Alright. Let's head to Riften and let's see what the fuck is up. We just need to find one more artifact. And then we'll be able to return to Aryan and get started on the next Legacy of the Dragonborn quest. I'm not sure if after that we're like good to go for Legacy. Like we can just start dumping shit there. But we'll have to see. Okay? Let's head over and we'll see what the fuck is up. Alright. Come here, carriage. Come here. I'm not gonna put my dick in a door, I promise. Pinky promise. Okay? Hi.
Need a ride?
Yes, please.
Where do you want to go?
Riften, please. There you go. 50 gold.
Climb and back, and we'll be off.
Okay. Alright. Let's head in, get this
Oh,
hammer,
steady.
and leave. I don't want to spend more time in Riften than I have to. I'm gonna be honest. Because then I'm gonna spend time in Riften, and then I'm gonna want to kiss Brynjolf on the mouth. And that's just too much for me today. Okay? You know what I think about sometimes? I think about that guy that... Do you guys remember the TLC show about the guy that fucked his car?
I'm glad we're friends.
Because apparently they did a follow-up on him. And now he's in like a car fucking polycule.
Hold there.
With like 3 other cars.
Before I let you into Riften,
So I guess he's
you
doing
need
well.
to pay the
You know?
visitor's tax
The visitor's tax.
for the privilege of entering the city. What does it matter?
This is obviously a shakedown.
All right, keep
Yeah,
your
that's what I
voice
thought.
down. You want
I
everyone
just
to hear
kissed
you?
Bryn.
I'll let you in.
Good for you.
Just
I
let
wish
me
I could.
unlock the gate.
Last time I tried to kiss Brynjolf, I accidentally broke the game mid-playthrough, and we had to start a new playthrough because I added too many Brynjolf
Gate's
sex
unlocked.
mods.
Wait, head inside.
Did someone just try to wait I know you me? Yeah, no you don't. No, you think you know me? No the fuck you don't. You got the wrong guy. Okay, you absolutely have the wrong guy.
Fine. If you won't listen to me, I'll find someone who will.
Who?
I had another run.
What's
in
up?
Yes?
Chief skill.
Are you good?
Huh? Well, not really.
He's so mean. What? Did you see that?
See ya.
Hold on.
Ignore them, Eren.
I don't know you. You and Riften looking
No,
for
I
trouble.
was looking. I'm not looking for trouble. I was looking at ass.
You can pretend not to
Alright,
hear
anyway,
me
what
all
were you talking
want.
about?
Listen to an old man.
Business.
Alright, what's
Huh?
up?
Well, not. Well, I was taking an evening walk like I always do, and I saw some men outside the Echo Deep Mine.
Bro,
The
I'm
thing
talking.
is,
I'm
they
talking.
look like mercenaries,
Bro,
up
can you-
to no
thank you.
good.
What makes you say that?
I've never seen them around here, and they look real tough. In
Real
addition,
tough.
the Echo Deep Mines are not a place people go. There are myths about it.
Oh. What kind of myths?
All sorts of stories. Some say it's haunted by ghosts. Some say a wealthy bandit lord hides out in it, quietly contributing to the crime in Riften.
His voice is like.
Some people even say that deep
it's
within
just
the
kinda fun
mines
to
there are
listen to, you
dweller
know what I mean?
ruins.
He's got the very
full of all sorts of
stereotypical old
automatons
man
just
voice.
waiting to slay
it's very
whoever
silly.
enters.
So what's the issue?
On my way back from my walk, I passed the mine entrance again. I heard all sorts of horrific noises. I reckon something happened to those men. Anyone going to those mines is up to no good. Now, I've asked the guard to take a look, but they just ignore me. I need someone to see what's happened. Would you go look for me? Please, if they're planning something, the city guard needs to know. Please, go check for me.
I can take a look.
Finally, thank you. I'll mark it down on your map. Just be careful. We still don't know what's in there.
All right, thank you, old man Jenkins. Where is that? An ancient gate. Where is that? Oh, it's not super far from here. Okay. So, I know we just got to Riften. And the first thing that we're going to do now that we're in a Riften is leave Riften. So let's get out of here. Let's find the hammer. And then we'll check out that mine that old man Jenkins gave us. His name was like Jalamore or something. Have you played with Kaiden? I have not, actually. I've heard a lot about him. He's a follower mod, right? I've heard a lot about him, but I don't think I've ever used him before. Also, what's going on?
Don't even think about it.
You really just called me the fuck out. Show us your latest tune and give us a summary of her purpose in Skyrim. Do you mean like my OC, or do you mean... Lydia, what are you doing? Oh, okay. I guess she just wants to wander off, which, like, not my problem. Not my monkey, not my circus, you know? Alright, let's head over here. Hopefully we can find it pretty quickly. Yeah, Broken Helm Hollow. I don't remember what's over there. I do not. You would love Kaiden? I need to check it out then. Feel free to post the link to the mod in the SKYRIM mods chat in the Discord. And then I'll take a look at it. I have definitely, all your guys' mod suggestions have been god tier so far. So I'm always down to add more followers. I always love friends. What's a wolf? Ah! Lydia! Lydia! Where are my bones, and Lydia's gone? Lydia! I can't fend for myself, I'm just a little guy! Lydia! What happened to protecting me? I don't want to do things! I'm the fucking passenger princess of Skyrim! Thank you! God! Thank you for nothing! Okay, anyway. Back to finding out. God, why are there so many wolves? Jesus Christ. I'm simply gonna keep walking and minding my business. She saw the sale rack and got distracted. Yeah, she was like, oh, damn. You know, I feel like Lydia would get into an MLM. Talking about MLMs earlier, I feel like this bitch would absolutely try to sell me some stupid ass leggings or essential oils or some shit. She absolutely would have an online course for me to buy. Guarantee it. Guarantee it, bro. Alright, let's see. Where's that hammer? Okay. Oh, there you are. Where were you? Where the fuck did you go? Huh. Okay. Well, I guess we'll keep heading towards the cave. God, everyone split off. Jesus Christ. Alright. Let's see what's here, and then honestly... Oh, wait. I haven't seen this, like... I don't think I've ever gone out that way of Riften before. This is really pretty, low-key. That is nice. Lydia was boning the Bone Gang? How? They have nothing to bone with! Ah, yes, Daddy. Give me your hip bone. The fuck? No! Listen, I'm not an expert, but I don't think that would work. Like, I'm not... like, I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but, like... I really don't think that's how that works. Those finger bones do work still. God damn it. I mean...
What was that?
Do you guys remember when Undertale was really big? And when everyone wanted to fuck Sans? Because that was wild looking back on it. Why did everyone want to fuck a skeleton? Why? Like, do you guys remember that? Or was that, again, just a me thing? Because, like, I don't know. I've talked before about how I saw some weird shit on the internet at a young age. And how unrestricted internet access made me the person I am today.
Did that really just happen? Someone do something.
What the fuck did I do? 10,000? Is it because I accidentally bonked her? Well, I'm going to leave. Wait, was she the only witness? Hey, wait, did you witness my crime? Oh shit, the fucking guards! Okay, fuck, we're going. We're leaving. We are leaving. We are getting, oh my god, the spiders! Okay, we are getting the fuck out of Dodge. We're not doing this today. What the fuck is that thing? Bone Wolf? That dog is literally the epitome of, oh, he don't bite. Yes, it does! Get that shit away from me! Wait, what? Yo, that's not my woman! No! I'm the only one allowed to have those things! This is why no one fucking comes to Riften! Beautiful city, but fuck! Oh my god, and I do no damage. Defend yourself! Okay. Jesus Christ, I keep killing people on accident. I don't mean to, it just kind of happens. Alright. I just want to go to the thing, get the hammer. Is this the way to the hammer? Is this hammer time? Yeah, I just wanted some good old hammer time. Can I don't want to go to Riften. I fucking hate Riften. I just wanted to help sit. This is why, chat, what? There's a whole fucking pack of them. Do you see that? No. Do not come over here. No. This is what happens, chat. I tried to help someone. I tried to be a good Samaritan. And what does it give me? $10,000 bounty and 3 trolls on my ass. Help no one. Ever. The world has descended into madness. If you help someone, go fuck yourself. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. Please be a good person, I swear to God. Don't take anything I say on my stream seriously. Please. God. Fuck! Okay, can I just want to get my fucking hammer. God, did you see that though? There was a whole pack of trolls. I don't think I've ever seen a pack of trolls together. Old lady Evie said not to help you. Yeah, get fucked. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please help your local old person cross the street. It's very important. Okay, don't. I'm a bad.
Time to die.
Can I please? For 2 seconds. Can I be left alone? Give me your blood. Jesus. That was exhausting. Yeah, give me your bones. You do not deserve to have a corpse in death. I am going to steal what is left of your body and squish you into the ground until nothing but a little stain remains. Fuck! What if it's their KFC and they have heart issues? Oh, maybe? Old people often need comfort over time. That's true. Yeah, be nice to old people. I actually genuinely love old people. I love talking to old people. When my grandma was in the nursing home, I loved just like hanging out with old people and hearing them talk about their lives. Like, jokes aside, like I feel like there's like stream EB and then there's like real EB. Thank you for the hydrate. Stream EB is a menace to society, but IRL EB is like has social anxiety and is afraid of offending someone for asking for extra ketchup. Okay. Get out of here.
It can't be.
Yeah, get out of here.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Anyway. So that wasn't too crazy. We'll take the armor. We'll take this stuff so we can donate it, I think. I am carrying too much now, though, so that's not great. What can I get rid of? I need to sell the dragon bones and shit. I don't need the gold ore. I can drop that. We'll keep all this for now, but we are gonna have to drop more when we actually get to the hammer, I think. We're gonna go on a quick little ad break, I think, before we find the hammer and finish off this dungeon. Just so we can get a little bit more water and go to the bathroom. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be back in like 3 minutes, I think I'll set it for. Yeah, we'll be back in 3 minutes. So go get water, go get a snack, take your meds today if you haven't already, and we will be back very soon. Okay, boop! I'm pressing the button. I'm pressing the button. BRB screen! Okay, we'll be back soon. And we're back. Alright. Got my water. I didn't piss my pants. And I'm ready to party. Okay. Let's go over to... Oh! Whoa! Okay. That kind of... I like had the ambient sound and I tabbed back and I was like... Bwah! And I was like, oh shit. Okay. Alright, where's the hammer? Oh, there it is. Well, excuse me. That's convenient. Was it frostbite? Yeah, I'll take that. Hammer. Oh, we do still have enough carry weight for the hammer. Okay, well, that's cool. Anything cool here? I mean, this is stuff. we can find again later. I'm not worried about it. Well, shit. I guess that's it then. Is there anything else over here? Yeah, they are, Lydia. I'll agree with you on that. All right. I guess we can just walk out and head back. All right. Now that we have all the 3 artifacts for Legacy of the Dragonborn, we'll head back over there. And I'm hoping, I genuinely haven't done Legacy in so long. I don't remember the order of the quests and stuff. So we're gonna head back there. And it might be time to start moving everything over, deadass. It might be time to start just like putting all my shit over there.
Inside.
We just left the cave, bestie. The cave is gone. Okay. Let's head over to the Dragonborn Gallery and see what the fuck is up. Because I genuinely don't remember the quest progression. But we have everything we need. And now we're ready to see Aryan and give him a big kiss on the lips. Okay? Alright. Let's see. I love Aryan. He's so cute. I wish you could romance him, honestly. Because he just seems really sweet. I don't know. I have a thing for people, like, regardless of gender, people that info dump. People that are not afraid to be like, I love this thing, and I'm going to tell you everything about this thing. I'm like, yes! Fuck yeah! I brought Jelly Belly jelly beans. Oh, hell yeah! I love jelly beans. Hi, Aryan.
Greetings.
I found the Jade Warrior too.
Oh, you have? Excellent. Yes, I have just the place for this. Thank you. Here's your reward.
Mm-hmm. And I have the hammer.
Ah, phenomenal.
Welcome back,
Let me have a
Knuckle.
look. Ah, yes. Exactly as described. Good work. Here's your pay.
Yay! And I found the ring.
Very good. And in excellent condition, it seems. Wonderful.
This should be all the artifacts you needed.
That is very impressive, my friend. You are certainly more than a mere treasure hunter. Which brings
I
me to
yearn
my
for
next
blood.
proposal. I'm in need of a full-time partner of sorts.
Okay.
A person of your caliber who can dedicate
He's
themselves
just
to
so
uncovering
sweet. I
more
don't
lost
know.
artifacts and relics on their own, while I continue my research efforts.
Like, I have a, like, don't
And
get
you
me
have
wrong. You
proven
know I
yourself
love
more than capable of the
big
job.
titty ladies and cute ladies.
And I think a special
but I
arrangement
love
could work.
cute boys.
Instead of me simply
and I love,
buying the
I
relics
love
off of
boys
you,
that are passionate
perhaps
about
you could
things.
bring them here. Lend
I
them
love-
to the
I love-
museum. I'll give you
I
an
love
occasional
people,
finder's fee,
okay?
and we'll safeguard your collection for you.
We've said this
You'll
before.
be able to
I've said
access
it again.
any
If
and
you
all
are
of your
nice to me,
collection
I
as
will
you see
probably
fit,
fall in
and
love
the
with
rest
you.
of it will be safe in your absence.
Sounds good to me.
Excellent. Well, let me give you the 10 Septum tour then.
Ooh. Okay. Are you ready for the tour? I always forget that happens. Yippee! Okay, time for the tour then.
This building was
I
once
always
called
forget that there's like
Magnarium.
the
Built as
quest
a temple
complete thing for
dedicated to
Legacy.
Talos, the patron god
Yeah,
of the
these are my
Nords.
boners. Can they
After
come?
the
Oh,
White
and
Wolf
this whore, I
pulled it,
guess.
However, the statue was moved and the temple
Oh,
was
that is so thank you so
I
much
came
for the
here a
prime
few years
sub,
ago and was able to
You now
procure
have
use
a
of the space in the
PlayStation
pursuit
2.
of establishing
Thank you.
this museum.
I appreciate it a
Of
lot.
course, I have had the building vastly expanded
Alright.
over the last
Every
2
time
years
I do
to accommodate what I
Legacy,
hope will
it
become
looks
one
like
of the grandest
wait,
collections
fuck,
of
hold on,
Tanric
fuck. Hold on.
history in the world. This grand
Thumbnail.
atrium
Thumbnail material. Oh, I can't say boners anymore.
called the Hall of Heroes.
I'll try my
It's where
best,
a
Jolly, but
variety
no
of historically
promises.
significant relics can be displayed.
That is
And it's
Lydia.
quite
I don't
a
know where she
striking
went. She.
entrance to the museum, if I do say so
You are
myself.
so rude. We are
Off
getting
to
a
the
tour.
right is the
Lydia,
reception
come
hall
back here.
staff barracks,
Lydia,
as well
you're
as the
leaving.
museum office where I do much of
She
my
is so rude. Can you believe
To
that?
our left, you'll find the central
I'm
hallway
listening,
leading
Arya.
to all the other galleries of the museum, which also
this
serves as the
lighting is
cultural arts
gorgeous.
exhibit. Here, I hope to display a variety of art as
That
well
is
as
so
elements
pretty.
representing the more primitive cultures.
And
here
even the
in
clouds are
Skyrim,
moving.
such as
Look.
the Sworn, the giants, and more.
Oh my God,
Down
this is
here on the lower level, you will
gorgeous.
find access to the eastern
I
halls,
know
which
a lot of
houses
my
the dated
stream
gallery, the
is
Hall of
just
Lost
me being
Empires,
silly, but
the
like
Hall of Oddities, and the Hall of
I
Legends, which showcase
I have
a vast
such
array of
appreciation
relics
for
related to
modders,
Data,
dude.
Dwemer, Fulmer, and ancient Nordic cultures,
It's
as
just
well as a number
so
of
pretty.
peculiar items
It's
that
the
defy
lighting.
simple classification.
At the close end of this hall, the stairwell will lead to the Hall of Wonders and armories in the basement, and up to
Our
the
little
second
friends
floor.
are very excited
There
about
you
their
will
tour.
find access to the Natural Science Gallery.
I
as
really
well
feel
as
like
the
they're like
Dragonborn Hall,
10 years old.
where I will commission a
Just
variety
pushing
of
and shoving,
displays
just like,
heralding
let me see.
your accomplishments.
I want to see.
At
Yeah,
the
look
far
at them.
end of the hallway
They're
on
just
both
very
floors,
excited to
you'll
be
find
here.
access to the Grand Library, and here on this floor, the door on the right also connects to the museum office.
Like they
If you
run.
cannot find me in
Their
my
little
office,
scamper.
you'll almost
Oh
certainly
my
find
God.
me whiling away the hours hours in the library. Also, you
What
should
happens
pick up
is
a copy
Eve
of the
slips up,
museum
then I
guide
just
at the entrance
extend
of
the
museum.
timer.
We'll let you know the schedule
Usually
of where I'm
the
working should you
IRL
need to
bands
find me, and it
last
will
for
offer you
20
an
minutes.
easier way of navigating the museum, as well as keep track of how many displays our museum has.
Okay.
Of course, it may take me a moment to update those accounts, so check the guide again
Ice
if
Cream
you feel
Assassin
the
said he's getting work
numbers
underway
seem
on
off.
the Odyssey.
I'm sure I'll
Really?
eventually account for everything. Any items you find for display, you can either
I'll have to
manually
look into
place them
that.
yourself,
I didn't read
or
that. I'll have to
utilize
find
the
it.
prep station in
I
my
wanna
office.
read about it.
And I'll ensure everything you have gets properly displayed if it has an appropriate place. I'm likely to have a variety of tasks for you, but in between, I'm sure you could help me find a random relic or two I've been researching.
Yeah.
Feel free to look around and come find me if you have any questions. I'm very excited about the prospects of where we are headed.
Yay! Okay, time to unload our toad. So let's go in here. And now we start the long process of transporting everything we own into the museum. Because we have some beautiful houses, but I love museum. Okay, so now we're gonna go to house number 1. And then I think... Yeah, because I think we have some stuff at house number 1 too. I can't donate Nettlebane because it's a quest item, so that one I think I will need to make a replica of, but we'll see. Maybe once I finish the quest, I can donate it. The community shaders community, that says we're done to unlock cube mapping for VR. Awesome! I'm so excited to play Skyrim in VR. I don't know if I told you guys, well, I know I talked about it in Discord, but I'm getting a 3D model, which I'm really excited about. It's something I've wanted for a really long time. Oh my god, ow. But basically, when I first started VTubing, I had a 3D model, and I liked it, but I also really liked the look of 2D. Thank you for the hydrate, Jolly. But I'm getting a 3D model, and I'm hoping I can do Skyrim VR streams, because I've never streamed Skyrim VR. I've played it only once or twice, but I think doing a VR campaign would be really funny. I will have to clean my room, though, for it. That is correct. But what I'm hoping for and what I'm planning for, I still gotta wait. Nothing's like, it's like confirmed, but it's gonna be a lot of work and there's some things I have to figure out, but I know I can do it, you know? We are gonna hopefully be having a 3D concert soon. I've always wanted to have my own concert, and now that I have a 3D model, we're gonna do a 3D live concert, and it's gonna be really cool. I think you guys will like it a lot. I'm really excited for it. But yeah, let's grab some of this extra stuff, and we can donate it. David will be able to help for sure. Is that already? I think I saw a check mark by that. So if there's a check mark by it, that means it's already in the museum. So we'll. Yeah, let me. Can I? I can't see. I can't see. I can't. I'm small. Can I? Okay, you know what? Fine. Not even worried about it. What is this? It looks cool, but I guess it's just there for display, which makes sense because it is a display case. But yeah, I'm really excited to do a concert. I've always I know I'm not like the stereotypical type VTuber in a lot of ways, but I don't know. There's a lot. I want to do a concert. I want to be an idol. You know, I want to sing and dance and do that kind of shit. You know, I've done it IRL before and I liked it, but every concert, every live performance I've done, I've been more comfortable doing it as a VTuber than with my IRL face. And I don't mind. I've done IRL content multiple times. I've shown my face multiple times. I'm not worried about it per se, but it's yeah, I can't carry all this right now, so we'll drop some of it off. I still can't do it right now. I honestly could sing God Knows. I don't know if I still have it memorized, but I have sang it before. I've been teaching and streaming, so I probably could sing it right now. Here, we'll just drop some stuff off real quick. Just put that down there. And what else can we drop off for now? Why do I have a pot? What? Yeah, I don't need that. Okay, there we go. All right, we're now in transport mode, dropping off everything to the museum. So we'll just chat while I do this. But wait, what's something else I was gonna say? I don't remember. But yeah, every time I've done a performance, I've been way more comfortable and happy with my VTuber performances than my IRL performances. And I have like the utmost respect for people that can perform and sing and dance IRL. It's not that a matter of like, it's not a matter of like I can't do it, because I've done it before. It's just a matter of like, I think I'm more comfortable. Like, I don't mind showing my face, but I'm more comfortable not showing my face. Sometimes I will, and sometimes I'll post selfies, you know. But ultimately, I'm more comfortable like this. And I think that's valid, you know. So, I will probably do a live show. I'm probably not going to never do a live show again. I imagine I'll do another live, like, show at a convention at some point in time. But right now, I'm most comfortable doing stuff like this. You know what I mean? But I think it'll be really cool. And I think the 3D model opens up a lot of possibilities. I think it'll be really cool. Okay, we're at 65 displays. I wonder if we'll get to 100 just today. We'll see, but I'm not sure. But again, now that we have the museum, we can dump a lot of shit. So let's just grab as much shit as we can, and we'll see what we can get. I know not everything we have is gonna have a display, but I imagine we can get rid of a lot of stuff. And I don't know why, but like, for me with Legacy of the Dragonborn, the fun thing to me is just seeing the number of displays get bigger and like watching it grow. And we have a lot of money, so also watching the treasury grow is really cool too. Lydia almost looks blonde in this light. Low-key, the blonde would suit her, actually. That's kind of cute. I kind of dig it. I don't think we're going to completely abandon this house, because it's still a good house, you know? But, I don't know. We'll have to see. I feel like we're kind of nomadic as is, so, I don't know. Alright, take that, take that, take that. This one. Withering Blade does not have a display, it looks like. No, so that one will stay. Take that, take that, take that. That does not have a display, and this does not have a display. Now we have to steal books. I am a whore for reading and knowledge. Let's see. Any books I can steal? No more mannequins. No, that one we already have in there. I know that I had a bookshelf. I think it was on the other side. Oh, I did have armor over here. Take that. Take that, take that. And I think the mannequins are all clear. I think it was over here I had the bookshelf. Let's see. Oh no, I guess I didn't put anything in it. Alright, let's see. And I know we also have some stuff we can probably loot from the other place in terms of books. Okay. Take this. Take this. Take this. I wish I could just take them, but I think I have to read them. I think that's why. Alright, these are not bookable. Bookable, 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 bookable. Okay. Anything else that I can take? Do you go to book sales IRL? From time to time. I did go to a comic book store when I was in Philadelphia, and it was really, really fun. Can I tell you guys something? So, like, y'all know I get hyperfixations. Really, like, it doesn't take a lot for me to get hyperfixated on something, right? That's not unknown to us. Like, we've discussed this before, at length even. Okay, I have 2 main books. We'll just eat, like, beef, and that'll restore some. Yeah, let me just eat a fuck ton of food, and then we're good. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I need maybe not. But, I don't really talk about it a ton, because I don't think it fits my content. Oh, here, we have stuff we can disenchant, so we'll do that. Because it doesn't fit my content, but I enjoy League of Legends. I know, you can boo, like, you can tomato, tomato, boo. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. I play League of Legends, okay? I enjoy League of Legends. Tomato, tomato. But, like, recently, okay, League of Legends released their boy band skins, and I loved KDA. I thought KDA was awesome, okay? And, like, here's the thing, okay? I didn't know what people meant, and by people, I mean my therapist. I didn't know what she meant when she said, EB, you've healed your inner child, heal your inner teenager. I'm like, well, shit, what the fuck does that mean? Also, can I change the mannequin's gender? Because I want to put my nice pretty dress away, but like, is this gonna... Yeah, that doesn't work. We need a female mannequin for that to work. Katie is a real thing. Yeah, Katie is official. They have like a full, they performed at Worlds and everything. Katie is very real. I love KDA. But basically, they have a new group, which is a boy band. And the boy band is called Heartsteel. And I don't, oh shit, okay, that didn't work the way I thought it would. We'll put it up over here. And I listened to their song once, and I was like, oh, it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Then I listened to the song a second time, and I decided that this is gonna be my personality for the next few months. And what I've gotten back into doing is I've started reading fan fiction again. And now I understand what my therapist meant
Got
by
something I'm
heal
supposed
your
to deliver.
inner teenager.
Your hands only.
Thank you, David.
Let's
heal
see,
your
looks
inner
like that's it.
teenager
Got to go.
means do the weird cringy shit you did when you were 14 and you were embarrassed about. Do it unabashedly now. So, I have like 8 different fanfics I've been keeping tabs on. And it's at a point where David's like, because David, this entire time, I've been telling me, he's like, Evie, you should get a hobby. You need to, like, find something to do to de-stress from work. Why don't you start reading? And I've always been like, David, I can't read books. My ADHD's fucking awful. Like, I've bought books that I've genuinely enjoyed, but I only get through, like, 2 pages a month because my ADHD is fucking bad. And, like, the good medication I was on, my insurance doesn't cover anymore. So, like, I'm able to, like, function. Like, I'm able to, like, live. Because I used to be at a point where I was, like, I would, like, keep the oven on. Like, I was doing stupid shit without my medication, right? So, David told me I needed a hobby. I needed to, like, start reading or something. And I did. I did start reading. It just happened to all be gay fan fiction. And I read, like, 8 of them. I was reading all the time. And at first, David was like, yay. My little reader, yay. And then David was like, okay, can you read a real book now? And I would literally be like, I felt like, you know those clips of like fucking, like 50s, like TV shows? And it's like a guy comes home and the wife is just like, how was work, dear? And he's like, it's been a hard day, give me a beer. That was me, but it would be, I would walk in and David would be like, how was work, dear? And I'd be like, it's been a hard day, David. Pass the fucking yowie. And so, I have like 8 fanfics I've been keeping tabs on because it's very new. So the fanfiction is like going, you know, it's fucking going. But you will be happy to know, okay? Thank you, Satan. Thank you. I was like, listen, I don't care if this fanfic is about fucking Ezreal getting his back blown out. It is literature. Okay? Like, listen, if you read a fanfic and it says, like, sorry, English isn't my first language, you are about to read the fucking modern Odyssey. Okay? You are about to read God's gift to literature. And God's gift to literature may include the twink from League of Legends giving some sloppy, and that's okay. But I did buy a book. When we were at Philadelphia, we went to a comic book store, and I bought a Junji Ito collection because I enjoy his stuff greatly. And I'm like halfway through it, but I'm thinking maybe I will start reading. Well, actually, wait. Does it count? Like, maybe if I read like actual Yuri and Yaoi, and it's not fan fiction, then maybe David will be okay with it. Like, and it's not just porn. There's plot. The plots are good. It's genuinely interesting to read. It's genuinely entertaining. It's not just porn, okay? Because that's the thing, right? I feel like a lot of people think I'm just like, yeah, sex, but like, I need my porn to have plot. I need my porn to have lore, okay? If the sex doesn't have lore, I don't want it, okay? So, that's what I've been doing lately. Evie, why don't you talk about your personal life on stream? This is why. Okay, let's go to Bloodshill Manor one more time and see if there's anything we can loot from there. Oh, I think there's actually more shit I can grab from here. I think I forgot to grab some weapons. Hold on. Evie is a pure and good noodle. She needs mythological porn. Yes, I am a say-so idol. I don't even know what sex is. Okay, I guess I did get everything. I think we're all good then. I think I've cleared out everything from here then. There needs to be some good lore. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, I used to play this hentai game on Itch.io, right? David, I hear him cackling in the background. He knows what I'm talking about, okay? But like, it was like, how do I describe this? It was like a game where you had a there's no way I describe this and I look good, by the way. But it was this game where like you were like a really rich guy and you had all these like bitches. But here was the thing, right? And it was like a porn game, right? But it was actually ended up being a very good time management game. Like, I really enjoyed the nuance behind managing my bitches, right? Like, it was actually a really good game with a really good story. And I was like invested. And I can't find it nowadays. But it was genuinely like a good game. I enjoyed it a lot. And now I can't find it, right? Like, there's hentai games that are just stupid. Have you tried Firewatch yet? I have not. Should I drop the link for Itch in the end? Yes, you should. But like, well, no, it was an Itch game with good lore, okay? Like, listen, like, if you're just gonna show titties in my face and be like, step bro, shut the fuck up, okay? We've done that. We've been there. We've covered that base, okay? I need, like, I want Game of Thrones. I want Game of Thrones with more porn, okay? We need to make Game of Thrones sluttier, okay? But I still want the same level of, like, world building. Does that make any fucking sense? And like, I had to stop watching Game of Thrones because at a certain point, Game of Thrones just got like weird. You know what I mean? Like that's not like that. Game of Thrones got too much at one point. But like, I want Game of Thrones with consensual sex and more sex. Okay? Like, Misty is not what I want. Misty is not a lore-friendly wench. Okay? No, like, here's the thing, right? You know, the more I talk about this, the more stupid I look. Listen. Like, I feel like I've just kind of dug myself a hole, and I don't quite know how to get out of it. Ooh, Cristata. I don't know. But, like, I just want my porn to have lore. Yeah, less Alabama, more anal. Like... But like, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, we can have like cool sex and not be weird about it. You know what I mean? Like, why can't someone just get railed in the butt? Why do we gotta make it weird? Like, what happened to, like, is nothing sacred anymore? No, not more consensual incest sex. I'm saying we need to have like, you know what? Well played, chat. No matter how I continue to elaborate, I look awful. Well played. Anyway, what's the deal with airplane food? I still want my It's Never a Good Time to Join an Evie Stream t-shirt. Bro, next time we do a merch drop, I'll do it. I will absolutely fucking do it. Listen. We've talked about this. Well, why are you a good streamer, EB? I have people ask me, they're like, how do you have the energy? Like, how do you talk about things on stream? How do you find things to talk about? Because so much beginner streamer advice out there is just like, here, I'm looking for the bookshelf, by the way. So much beginner streamer advice is like, oh, you need to always be talking. You need to always be saying something, right? You need to keep your chat engaged, right? And people ask me, like, how did you learn how to do that, right? Here's the thing. It started off, when I first started off, I was a lot more reserved, you know? So what I would do is I would write topics on sticky notes, like things that had happened to me during my day that I thought were interesting. And I'd write them down, so if something like got kind of like boring in the game I was playing, I'd have something to talk about with chat. Now though, 3 years later, I just don't give a shit. You wanna know my secret, right? I just say whatever the fuck pops into my head. Sometimes it gets me in trouble, but it works. You know, like, you can't deny, like, you're probably very engaged in me talking about, yeah, you know, like, you're probably like, damn, that's crazy, you know? So like, that's my strat. And some might call it cheap. I don't care. I'm just doing my thing. Okay, that's all I'm doing. My best. I'm doing my thing. And sometimes my thing ends up being accidentally talking about butt sex. But, you know, nobody's perfect. You live and you learn, you know. I feel like Misty Sky's sister would be a better follower. I don't think she asked you to hold them. I kind of want to try the Misty Sky quest again just to get to the sister. Because Misty Sky herself annoyed me. Like, I've never had a follower annoy me as much as Misty Sky did. I genuinely despise her. Like, I'm not the type of person to hate people in video games. Usually I'll be like, oh, they're kind of annoying. I think I would kill... I can't say that. No, I can't say that. She's not real. I think I'd beat the shit out of Misty Sky in real life. I think I would. Like, I think I would take her in a fight. I'm gonna be honest. Although, I don't know. Her fucking bazongers might do bludgeoning damage for all I fucking know at this point. But, like, her sister seems chill. Her sister seems, yeah, Misty was not cute. Misty was a stalker. Misty is not, you know, she's not obsessive. She's a felon, okay? They're getting on my nerves a little, both of them. I can't imagine having both of them. Because I feel like with both of them, they'll bounce off each other. No pun intended. They'll like go off each other, right? I feel like maybe the sister on her own might be okay. But oh my god, Misty Sky was, yeah, the sexcellent. Yeah, what was it? The sex caliber. It's like, listen, don't get me wrong. We all know I have the humor of a 12-year-old boy. We all know I love, like, shitty humor. Something about sister after conversation. We weren't talking about incest. We were talking about how we need more, like, shows with, like we need more hentai shows that are just, like, they have lore, and we don't have to make them weird. Just have sex in Skyrim, okay? Don't throw any Alabama shit in there. I don't need that, okay? But yeah, I just, like, I don't know. Hayden gives off a very being protective boyfriend bodyguard role. I feel like you have to be careful with it. Because do you guys remember, I never had him, right? But did any of you guys ever play with the Bishop mod, the Skyrim romance mod? Because I never played with it, but I heard some crazy shit about it. Like, apparently he's, like, really possessive. Not in, like, a cute way, but in, like, a kind of, like, kind of way. That's what I always heard about it. Oh my god, David's Steam library is available for me to play games on. Wow. Let's actually... Do I have access to the safe house now? That's what I want to check now, is do I have access to the safe house? I want you and David to play that mod together. The Skyrim romance. Oh god. Yeah, if me and David play through the Skyrim romance mod, it's literally just gonna be me and him giving you guys dating advice. It's literally just gonna be me and Dad sitting, or Dad. That's a Freudian slip.
Ah, I'm glad you're here. I've got
Stop.
a rare discovery. I got word of a unique relic and was able to procure it from the cellar. Use it if you wish, or place it on display.
Oh, oh no. Oh no, it's so Jover. It's so fucking Jover. Oh. I hope my real dad isn't watching this stream. My parents watch my stream. Oh fuck, it's Jover. Anyway, guys, let's find the safe house. Yay! Thank you for the hydrate. You know, I'm gonna check my phone real quick, because usually he'll text me if I'm watching. Okay, he hasn't texted me because my dad's like, I don't remember what his Twitch name is, but he's like afraid to type in chat, but he'll like text me in reaction to what's going on stream, and he hasn't texted me, so hopefully it's okay. But to be fair, my dad has literally said verbatim, my dad has literally said, I think your stream is really funny, but when you stream, I have to forget that you're my child. And like, we take those ? Do you have a safe house key? I think I do, because I got a letter from Arian about it. Yeah, I have the safe house key. I just need to remember where the fucking door is to it. Which dad are you talking about? Shut up! Shut up, okay? Here's the thing, right, is I joke a lot. Actually, no, I'm not reserved about that kind of thing. I I joke about shit that's happened in the past. I don't talk about shit that happens now. Y'all need to know me like that. Oh my god. Safe house should be 50 displays. Yeah, we just hit over 100, okay? People clipped it and can share it on Discord. Yeah, it's Jover. It's fucking Jover. It's Jover. Alright. Safe house! Welcome to your new home, boners, and Lydia, I guess. What a fucking stream. Alright, let's see, because we do have some stuff. What's this? Magic from the sky. Ooh, that's a display. Don't mind if I fucking do. Alright. Because we do have some stuff that's really cool, but we can't, like, donate it. So I want to just, like, I just want to, like, put it somewhere in here. So let's take a look-see. Because every time I look at the safe house, it looks different, and I loved it. Everything I need to know about you, I learned in the, last, the boys and pups. Listen, I love lesbians, too. Yeah, like, I don't discriminate, okay? I'm not just a Fujoshi. I love all varieties of gay people. Yaoi, Yuri, I'm into all of it, okay? Nothing is off the table. We're not bringing back Daddy David. We're not. We're not bringing that back. Okay, so we don't have anything in the freezer. I can probably sort my ingredients and get some stuff out. Let me see. Where's the, I think it's in the workshop, so I think it's in this one. Listen, the Daddy David joke didn't come from me. That came from chat. That came from chat calling David Daddy, right? So you guys can call David Daddy, but as soon as I do it on accident, a Freudian slip, if you will, oh, then all hell breaks loose. Oh. Why is it that you guys are allowed to call David Daddy, but I can't? That's a double standard, okay? That's fucked up. All right. Where is the thing? Because there is a ingredient sort. I think it's... Is it this? I think it's supply planner? No. That's We Are Sleuths for David. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm glad you appreciate that, okay? I'm glad you can just admit that. I respect it. Okay, that brought our carry weight down significantly. So we have to be careful now that... Oh, wait, no, it didn't sort our potions. So, because it does take a lot of your potions. So now we have everything in, like, little drawers. So, like, here we have our soul gem coffer. All our soul gems are in here. We have... ingredients in here, and then we should have potions. Yeah, all our potions are in here. So we'll actually store some of our other potions. We're gonna sell the poisons, but like a bunch of this stuff, we'll just come grab it as we need it. We do not need the dick. Actually, we'll sell the dick biggering potion. We'll sell that. We don't really exist. Yeah, everyone's just a figment of my imagination. That's what I've learned. No, chat isn't real. Like, I've talked about this before. Sometimes I forget that, like, there's people out there watching me. Like, you guys are perceiving me right now. That's so fucking crazy, bro. I'm being perceived in live time. That's nuts. Okay, yeah, now my meat's in there. Okay, I don't know. I like seeing the storage containers fill up. It's cool. Hi, Yora! Welcome in, gamer. I got Plague Doctor mask. Oh, yeah, I think I saw your pictures of it. It looked really cool. I did not dress up for Halloween. I was honestly really bummed out because I didn't dress up because I didn't think we were gonna get any, trick-or-treaters. And, like, I was like, okay, I'll buy candy, you know, and even though, like, I kind of knew we weren't gonna get any trick-or-treaters, I was still really sad that we didn't. We didn't get any trick-or-treaters. I didn't see anyone dressed up, nothing. And honestly, like, I don't know. I was kind of really bummed out about it, you know, because I didn't, like, go to a Halloween party or anything, and I'm so used to, like, doing stuff on Halloween, you know? And we didn't do anything. It made me kind of sad. So I've kind of, like, made the executive decision with me and some of my friends that we're gonna have a big like Christmas party. We might do Friendsgiving, but I'm thinking we're gonna plan for like a Christmas party or something, and I think that'll be cool, you know. I want to do a big Christmas party with my friends, like a white elephant, all kinds of stuff, because we didn't do anything. It made me kind of sad, honestly. If you get another bounty, you can clear bounties with a toggle in the leveler's top. We need that because I committed so much crime on accident. Trick-or-treating's banned? That's crazy. I mean, I taught at a school district where trick-or-treating was banned in a lot of places because it wasn't, like, safe, you know. We can trick-or-treat for you? Oh, thank you. Yeah, here's the thing, is, like, I always saw trunk-or-treat because that was, like, people were talking a lot about that. I always saw trunk-or-treat as a thing that was, like, a separate thing. I always saw trunk-or-treat as, like, you go to a trunk-or-treat and then you go trick-or-treating, right? But it does, like, kind of make me sad. I'm hoping, low-key, because I saw so many TikToks about people talking about how, like, there was no Halloween stuff going on, you know? So I'm hoping low-key, like, a lot of people will see this and be like, yeah, let's bring back Halloween, you know? Because I feel like, I don't know, you know? I feel like it has the potential for a lot, you know? Like, I feel like we should have trunk or treat and trick or treat. And, you know, safe and walkable neighborhoods are, unfortunately, kind of a prerequisite for that. There's also less people having kids nowadays, so that could be part of it. But, and I know it's selfish, you know? But there is part of me that's like, I'm kind of bummed out that now that I'm an adult, I don't have anyone to hand out candy to. You know? I feel like I didn't get my passing of the torch moment. So, I'm hoping next year will be better. Worst case scenario, I would just go to a trunk or treat and set up or something. But, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it felt like an important thing to me to, like, give back to my community, you know, and help create something magical, you know. But even, like, I don't know, you know. I hope that maybe this year was just like an off year. Because, like, it could be like all these things, but also at the end of the day, it was on a Tuesday. So maybe give it a few years. COVID still wasn't that far, like, long ago in the grand scheme of things. So maybe give it a few years and it'll come back stronger. That's what I'm hoping for. And when it does, I will be there to give out full-size candy bars. And it'll be a grand old time. And I'll dress up and it'll be cool. Because I love dressing up. Last year, or not last year, I think last time I dressed up, I went as Minnie Mouse. And it was really cute. But yeah, Halloween in Toronto was pretty good. Yeah, I saw, like, it wasn't like it's sad everywhere. But there's a lot of places that still went, like, all out, you know. Right after a trunk or treat, a firefighter got run over. Oh my god. That's wild, Jolly. Holy shit. That's the thing, is I feel like it's like, I understand desire for safety. Like I know this is very out of character for me, but like, I want things to be safe, you know? Like things should be safe, right? But I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like, anything you do is gonna have a level of risk to it, right? Like a lot of people I've seen say, like, with no trick-or-treating, it's like, oh, well, it's dangerous for kids to be walking out at night. Also, my game crashed. Like people would be like, oh, it's dangerous for kids to, like, walk around at night. Yeah, that's why you go with them, right? Oh, well, there could be, like, creepy neighbors. Okay, usually, if you know a neighbor is creepy, don't knock on their door, right? Oh, well, a kid could get snatched up. You go with your kids. I don't think this is a radical, like, I feel like it's like, just go with your kids. Why don't you want to go with your kids? You know, like, explore it. Talk to your neighbors. Build a community. You know, I feel like I don't really know, like, any of my neighbors, and it makes me kind of sad. I kind of know a few of them, because there's like kids that live across from us, and they're really sweet, and they'll, like, leave the door, they'll, like, hold the door open for me, and they'll be nice to me, and they'll come say hi, and, like, ask how I am, and ask how they are. Like, yeah, it's not, like, a lot, but it's, like, something, you know, like, just being able to say hi to people. You know, I feel like makes a big thing. We need better cities designed around pedestrian access. Yeah, I wish I didn't need to buy a car. Yeah, I literally said something morally good, and SKYRIM was like, nope, can't have that. Not in this stream. No, I need destruction. You know. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing that's 100% safe. You just gotta try your best. All the neighbors I grew up with moved away. Oh. I'm sorry, gamer. Yeah, the tainted candy thing. Wasn't there actually, I feel like this year there was some truth to it though. Because did you guys see all the Reese's cups that had worms in them? Look, okay, listen. It could very well be, can someone fact check this for me? Because this could very well be an instant of, I saw this on the internet. Check this shit out. But I saw Reese's cups. There was like something with a bunch of Reese's cups. And like there were like worms in Reese's cups, like little tiny worms, like something happened, and I think it like either way it had a ripple effect, right? Because I went to the store and at Reese's were buy one get two free. Reese's are always expensive. Reese's like never go on sale at my grocery store. Where's the community note? But like I saw them, I was like, damn, Reese's on sale, huh? That's crazy. That's wild, you know, because they're never on sale in my neighborhood or in my where I live, you know. Novel. That's good. That's a good point though. That's a manufacturer error. Yeah, I still want to know how the manufacturer makes that error. Like, how do you fuck up that bad? How do you, like, it's like something wasn't cleaned properly and like bacteria grew or something like that. But it's like, can you imagine like someone going up and it's like, sir, we have bad news. What happened? We accidentally got the peanut butter jar and the worm jar mixed up. No! like, how does that happen? I need to know. How do you fuck up and get worms in your Reese's cups? What the fuck? How does that happen? I genuinely don't know, you know? All right, where is Danica?
I work with my mother.
We do have the Nettlebane, so I would like to give it to her. Corporate sabotage. It could be, honestly. It could be all a plot. I mean, there were like the only tampering thing I can think of. It's not even candy. It's like the Tylenol murders, right? Do you guys remember those? I watched a video about them a while back. Tylenol murders were wild. That was crazy. It's filled with nuts and bolts. Promoted with extra protein. Hey, you'll hit your macros if you eat these. Hey.
What is it? What has happened to the Gilder Green?
Oh, what's going on?
I have traveled long here to worship beneath its branches.
Oh, thank you,
was taken by
Smokoko. I
lightning
appreciate
strike.
you. Take your time,
Wish I
Gamer.
had
I
time to
appreciate
deal
you.
with it, but it's hard enough with all these wounded from the war.
Please, don't
She's
just
like-
let it stay like this.
Danica
It's
looks like she's
disgraceful.
suffering.
I really don't have
Are
time
you
to
okay?
deal
Like,
with
she
you
looks
right
like
now.
she needs to go to bed.
Please just
Are you
let me
okay?
get back to my work.
But this is supposed to be your
See,
work.
I love conspiracies as long as they don't hurt anybody. Because some conspiracies are like fucked up, right? Some conspiracies are just like problematic, point blank. But like silly conspiracies, I could talk about all day. Like, do you
So,
remember
have you
the
got
Chuck E.
some
Cheese
Nettlebane
pizza
back
shit?
from
Oh my
those
god, I could talk
filthy
about that all
hag
fucking
ravens
day
yet?
long. Maybe the posture check you are. Let me stretch. Ugh. I fucked up my body so bad. I walked like 20,000 steps in Philadelphia yesterday, and then I went to the gym and worked out arms and legs because I'm an idiot. But at least I'm getting my gains. Oh, I found Nettlebane.
Oh, well, I honestly didn't expect you to come back.
That's where
of
you're
course,
wrong.
I'm glad you did. Now,
I accidentally changed my outfit.
I don't
know
really
what
want to
did.
touch that
Put
thing,
it back.
though.
Okay, thank you.
Do you think you could handle the next steps?
What needs to be done?
Elder Gleam Sanctuary Grove is
I have
to
a
the
toggle
east
to
of
change
here.
my outfit and
you
take
can
shit
use
off.
Nettlebane to
And sometimes I
retrieve some of
accidentally
its
bonk
sap.
it. Okay, let's get the sap.
Was I correct in hearing that you were traveling to the
Boners,
grove of
can
the
you-
Elder Gleam?
Mommy's talking to someone. Can I help you?
I am a traveler.
Oh, thank you
a
for hydrogen.
pilgrim. I follow the voice of Kinnereth wherever it can be heard.
The Chuck E. Cheese
I've dreamed
conspiracy
of
was a
seeing
while
Elder
ago.
Gleam for
It came from a
years.
Shane Dawson
Might I
video, so
travel
again, take it with a
alongside
grain
you?
of salt because
I promise
it,
not to get
it's
in
from
the
a guy
way.
that fucked his cat. So like, and it's not like really a conspiracy.
I
But
thank
it's
you for
like
your kindness.
the theory was that if you eat a pizza at Chuck E. Cheese, it's not like, yeah, Shane Dawson, like, there was like a whole meme where Shane Dawson talked about coming on his cat. And then like, if you look it up, there's a clip of him defending himself. And he's like, I did not fuck my cat. Wait, let me see if I can find it. Hold up. I want to see if it's, he might have taken it down, but I'm sure someone re-uploaded it. Let me see where it was. Here, going on YouTube. Shane Dawson, oh, there we go. There goes the outfit again, because I'm using hotkeys, and that's a federal crime. Okay, hold on. Here it is. Here it is. Let me put it up for you guys. We'll watch it together as a family. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, hold on. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? No, where's the one of him actually, like, wasn't there like a clip of him saying it?
I didn't fuck my cat. I didn't come on my cat.
No! What the fuck? No!
I didn't put my dick anywhere.
But that's, I don't want to watch this video anymore. This video's gonna make me sad. I know it's probably just like a meme, but it's gonna make me sad. But that's the, that's the tweet, that he made. But I'm sure you can find some, it was from like a podcast. Yeah, that's enough of that. This is why I don't usually show, this is why I don't do media shares, because I don't like watch them before I click them. I'm just like, oh, let's go. And then I'm like, I don't like that. That does, I hope it's just a me. I hope those kitties are okay. I'm kind of sad now, but whoopsie. but yeah, I'm sure there's I'm gonna put the iPad down. Oh my god. But yeah, that was a thing. But Shane Dawson was the guy that came up with the Chuck E. Cheese thing. And basically what it said is, like, if you go to Chuck E. Cheese and you, wait, why does it say speak to the Greybeards here? Olava the Feeble's house? Wait, no, I don't want to do anything like that. Navis? Why does it say speak to the Greybeards? Why are the Greybeards in Olava the Feeble's house? This is a bug? Oh, okay. I was half expecting to walk in there and, like, all three of the Greybeards are, like, railing the fuck out of the old lady. That's what I was half expecting. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, you know how, like, when you go to Chuck E. Cheese, if you don't eat all your pizza, the theory was, if you don't eat all your pizza, like, let's say you only eat half of it, right? They'll take that half of a pizza and then mix it together with other half-eaten pizzas and reheat it and serve it as a new pizza. That was the theory, right? Because when you go to Chuck E. Cheese, sometimes the pizza slices are, like, uneven, right? So that was the thought behind that. And Chuck E. Cheese had to, like, come out and, like, make a statement about it, being like, no, all our pizzas are fresh. We would never do anything like that. But that was the idea. So they were kind of mix-mashing their pizzas up together. And that's not very sanitary, so, you know. But yeah, fresh and planted. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, on that note, though, I think just because my voice is getting kind of tired, I did a lot of singing and teaching today, and my voice is getting kind of tired, and I'll be honest, I kind of just fucking screamed. That Ara took the wind out of me, bro. But I think we're gonna end for today. I think this is a good spot. Thank you all so much for hanging out and watching. I hope you had a fun stream. Having pizza at a kid's place? Never. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new in town, hi, my name is EB Games. I play Skyrim every Sunday, and I play other shit on Wednesday and Friday. Let me do my things. Oh, here we go. Okay, what happened was a silo that the ingredients for the filling, dextrose, was stored in, was refilled after repairs, and cleaning was done with approximately 50 gallons of water still in it. Oh, so since the water was still in it, the worms were coming. The worms wanted to party in the water. Okay, is that it? Because that would make sense. Here, let me go back to my just chatting since we're done rimming the sky. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. Let me do my end of stream spiel. Is my BGM on? Yeah. But basically, if you would like to join our community Discord, we're gonna be having a community event next week where I info dump about American Girl Dolls. My autism power hour next week. We were supposed to have it yesterday, but I accidentally ended up in Philadelphia. So we do have a community Discord. I also upload all my VODs to YouTube if you'd like to watch my previous streams with this character. I also am on miscellaneous social media and all that jazz. Gamers, let's see who we can raid. Who is live right now? Whoever I raid, thank you for the yeet, is gonna determine the level of my raid message. Oh, we're gonna raid Julian. Julian's my buddy. Julian is my pal. What does he play right now? Apex Legends. Oh boy. Oh boy. What if we devastation? Because that's the thing is, if I raid my buddy, then I can say weird shit. Our raid message is gonna be. There was a part of me that's like, what if I just put the Shane Dawson copy pasta as the fucking raid message? No, that would be bad. We'll do, what was like, can we spam the no bitches emote if you had it, because it's funny. Yeah, Twitch might be mad if I enter a raid with, I didn't fuck my cat. We have that emote. We'll keep it generic because I can't think of anything. So just spam some emotes and write EB raid. Julian's my buddy. Please give him your good hellos and your cheers and treat him with the same love and respect that you treat me. Alright, gamers, I will catch you on the flip side.